Hello everyone, and welcome to this stream. Jules isn't here yet. She's going to be. She went off to get a drink. Yeah, I'm just gonna post this link in the Discord so that everyone knows that we are live. Everyone, we're live. And we send that. Someone says go on voice chat. I can go on voice chat for a little bit. I'll sit in general voice if you want to talk. I'm not going to be in voice chat for the whole stream, but I can be in there for a bit if you want. So I'm there now. There's no one else here. But I'll tweet out the link. Hey.
Hi. You alright?
Hello.
Yeah. So, South African general election.
Right.
Yeah,
No. Oh, sorry. Have to leave now. Hey, Jules.
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah, we've started streaming. Just so you know.
Who's the other voice here?
Awesome Everton. He wanted me to join general, and then I did, and then he said South African general election, and then I left.
Ah, right. Well, always a fun topic.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome indeed to this not Shit Island episode.
It's not Shit Island. Peter might join us later, and then it becomes kind of Shit
Ooh.
Island, I suppose.
Well, something to look forward to, dear listener. Viewer, actually.
Viewer.
Yes, look at that. We're moving up in the world.
Whoa. So, you might be wondering, why is Jules here? Well, Jules...
no reason. Just randomly. I got invited, you know.
You got invited. We're talking on Hangouts right now, and your Hangout profile picture is actually of, I believe, Julius Caesar.
Indeed.
Giving a thumbs up.
The person I named myself after as well. I'm a big fan of Roman history, particularly the late Republic, early Empire. So more or less Julius Caesar and Caesar Augustus, that time period.
The Republic and early Empire, that's exactly the period that we're going to be in right now.
Well, I'm in for a treat.
So, it's the year 304 BCE.
304. That's before the Punic Wars. Look at that.
Yeah.
Rome's still just a regional power rather than a fucking.
I don't even know if we're a regional power.
Global.
No, we're not a power of anything at the moment, actually.
Well, a power in the Italian peninsula, I suppose.
I mean, even that's.
Well,
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, our current ruler is Publius Sempronius Sophus. He's a member of the Civic faction.
That's great. I don't know who this guy is, but he sounds very aristocratic, so good on him.
He's the head of the Semproni family.
Well, that's nice for him. So
he's jealous, victorious, and wise, and his ambition is to be appointed dictator.
Oh, that's a good ambition to have. It's good to have goals in life.
Yeah. So I think it would be unfair to Jules to play as any other nation than Rome, since Jules is such a fan of Roman history.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to getting angry at all the tiny details they get wrong.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure there are details they get wrong.
But of course, this is the Paradox title.
This is a big map, jeez.
Yes, so it goes...
I mean, I know they do big maps, but still, it's for this time period, you typically don't get this big.
Yeah, so we have Europe. We don't have, the northern Scandinavia. Don't have most of Russia.
China was still uninhabited at this time, as we all know.
Ukraine is like colonizable. No one lives there yet, but you could hypothetically.
Eventually, there you go. The Scythians are there.
Yeah, and then
they had more land.
We have India, and then we don't have China.
Well, it was China even inhabited at this time?
It was, yeah.
Well, yes, it definitely was.
Like,
It already had an empire there, like thousands of years before the Romans had their legions. So
yeah.
Well.
We could hypothetically get as far as the Horn of Africa.
Yeah, well, it's a good map. It's nice.
Yeah. Egypt,
yeah,
led by Ptolemy Soter Lagid.
Yeah.
He's content in life. That's good for him. Carthage, obviously, led by Maharbal Gerbalid.
Of course, it's after Alexander's little campaigns. Yeah.
Right, so I was going to say, since this is a paradox title, of course, we can pick any nation that you can see to play as, even the really tiny ones.
Let's pick some tiny fucking Spanish thing. What's that one province thing I'm seeing in the corner of Spain there?
Which corner?
The upper left one.
Upper left one. Neria?
It's one of those one province things.
Aronia.
Let's go for that.
Salonia. Coporia.
Any of those.
Selena. Organomesia.
Yeah, let's go for that. Forget Rome, probably the thing they actually put effort into. Let's go for one of these tiny fucking factions here.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that they have put this many in. That's pretty impressive.
There are a lot, yeah.
And that must have taken a lot of work. Just figuring out, like, hey, what was even around at this time?
Yeah. I think so, yeah. I think it would have taken quite a lot.
Yeah,
so that's, the Macedonian Empire here, of course.
Oh,
Cassander Antipatrid.
Macedonians have kind of crumbled at this point.
Yeah.
Wasn't a very long-lasting empire, was it?
We can be Athens.
We
Democratic Republic.
We could be democratic, but is that truly the way forward? Is that really the best way to establish the ancient socialist republic? You know.
So Rome is currently an aristocratic republic.
That's close enough to socialism, as we all know. I mean, what's the difference between, aristocracy and, the Soviet system? Please don't have me.
There are lots of different types of government that you can play as and change to. There are tribes, which is the settled tribes, federated tribes, and there are, let's see if there are any. There are migratory tribes as well. I don't know if I can see any. But migratory tribes, basically, they usually only occupy a few provinces, or cities as they're called, and they can kind of move around the map.
They migrate, I suppose.
Migrate, yes. Although I can't find any, but I know they exist.
I'm sure they're at... Wait, hang on, is half of Germany just not occupied?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Upper part of the Netherlands is unoccupied. You do have Frisia over here, though. They're not yet in the Netherlands, though.
Yeah, no.
Oh, they're a migratory type. There you go. Frisia. Migratory.
But it is a bit embarrassing. I have no idea if this place was actually properly settled at this time.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is free. I know by the time, Caesar's running around here, then it's, settled, but... don't know about 300s. I'm not too good with my Dutch history.
All right.
In my defense, no one in the Netherlands is either. We don't care about our history, so yeah, it's all right.
So if we want, we can enable mixed gender rules, which would allow us to spend a bunch of political points in order to have be able to appoint female generals and politicians.
Oh, look at that.
Although if we turn that off, then it's historical, and it's entirely based on if your country actually did that at the time, which Rome didn't. So,
yeah, no, Rome did not have a lot of...
Yeah, the default position is Rome would not be able to appoint any female generals or politicians. I would turn this on. I think it's well worth it. It's so much, it's very, very much worth it. You get 100%, you get literally 100% more people to appoint to positions, and they're not different.
It's almost as if having this kind of gender structure is not very rational for society to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
All my save games. I don't know how many hours I actually have in this game yet. I feel like I should take a look. Steam. I have currently 39 hours in this game.
I'm just looking at like the save times to see what times you've been staying up to.
Yeah, I've completed the game. I've gotten all the way up to the end.
Oh wow, already. Nice.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what year it is.
I was reading that for over 20 years, something. You're Rome. Okay, good.
Okay, so this is Rome.
Yep.
These are the territories that we control. We have our map modes down here, of course, as we do in EU4 and all that. We have terrain and simple terrain, and the political map mode, which is the one that I use the most, but culture is also quite nice. We have the Latin culture modes, the Romans, the Etruscans, the Umbrians, and then we have, the Gallic tribes, the Germanics, and all the other rest. Religion, of course, we have the Hellenics, the whatever this
Celtic,
is,
whatever they are.
Canaanites, Druidics, Iberics.
Hang on, I'm gonna interrupt you for a moment. We got 2 super chats.
Oh, cool.
They don't say anything, but Joe Kim is giving you $2, like $1 2 times.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Joe Kim.
We also have trade goods. That shows you what each. So each one of these tiny ones are called cities, which is confusing because some of them are like out in the middle of nowhere. They shouldn't be called cities, but they're called cities.
Yeah, well.
And each city produces a specific good. So Rome produces cloth, and then
All right.
we have Ostia produces iron. And then you can click on one of them, click on cloth, for example, then we see all the provinces that produce cloth.
Yeah.
First, see everything that produces first.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of flashbacks to EU4 now.
Yeah. So each good, each trade good gives you certain bonuses, and they can also enable you to build certain units. So this is salt, for example, which gives local fort defense plus 10, local fort defense plus 5. For each surplus. Surplus in the capital, army maintenance cost, when exporting army maintenance cost. And iron is very important because it allows you to build heavy infantry units.
Ooh.
Which are the best unit in the game, save for elephants.
Elephants?
Yes,
They're
elephants.
useless. Well, not useless, but a bit overrated.
Elephants they play basically the same role as heavy infantry units, but they are very rare. Here we are, elephants. They can only be found in Africa.
And India, I imagine.
Few places. And in India, I believe, yeah. Probably. That would make sense. Yeah, India.
Them being really good is kind of baffling me because they were kind of mixed historically, with very mixed results. I mean...
But Hannibal, they crossed the Alps.
Yeah, and only one survived.
Yeah, but that one elephant went on to conquer Rome. Well, not really.
No, and like when they didn't actually have elephants fighting the Romans, like the elephants were, they fled and crashed into the Roman army. It's
population map mode.
Expensive.
Population map mode is pretty simple. Shows you where people live and where you have the manpower. More importantly, diplomacy map mode is another map mode that I spend a whole lot of time in. Green is you, blue is your vassals, purple are the people that you trade with. So currently we are trading with Syracuse. By the late game, if you're a large Roman Empire, basically every country on the world that you are not at war with will be purple, because you will want to be trading with as many people as possible. Because trading is beneficial, kind of regardless of what you're trading.
Yes, this is, the old free trade motto we're going by.
Yeah.
Rome is basically old school World Trade Organization.
Yeah. Player map
And we
mode.
will have to occasionally impose some, economic restructuring on the country. It's just, we have to make these economically sustainable.
Yeah. Unrest and loyalty map mode. And get a good overview of our governors. So each, it's called province, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Each province has a governor. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 governors. And this shows their loyalty. So this governor has 80 loyalty towards us, and this one has 100 towards us. And it also shows the loyalty of the population, the provinces themselves. And so the people, even if we appoint a governor which is loyal to us, the people can still hate us if they are newly conquered, for example. Or if we are trying to convert them from their religion or trying to convert their culture, that kind of thing.
Right.
Generally considered dick moves.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I suppose we should just kind of go over everything there is to look at, because I'm kind of making this live stream, or it's going to be a video as well afterwards. I'm kind of making it for people who have never played this game before, and this is going to be kind of a bit of an introduction.
Okay.
So
people like me.
Yes. So we'll just start at the top and work our way down. Treasury, gold, pretty simple. You get money from trading and you get money from taxes. Manpower.
Even in the olden days, you couldn't escape your taxes, people.
Manpower, extremely important. I would say probably more so than in EU4. It's very, very important to have manpower. If you're out of manpower, you're dead. Basically,
All right,
that's you will be run over if you have low or no manpower. And if your units take attrition, if they're placed up in the mountains or somewhere where they don't have supply and they take attrition, they will die. They will literally all slowly die. And you will lose all that manpower, and they will try to resupply, and then they will die again. So never take attrition. If you position your units on a border somewhere where you want to keep them to make sure no one invades you, and they're taking attrition, fucking move them somewhere else, or they will die, and you will lose all your manpower.
Better yes, conquer who would invade you.
That,
you don't have to station troops there. So thinking ahead.
These four, military power, civic power, oratory power, and religious power, are basically mana. Probably the most controversial part of this game. A lot of people don't like them. But
I've heard things about them, yes.
Yeah, basically, in order to make decisions, you have to use a specific kind of mana, and you can get mana in different ways. And it'll become pretty self-explanatory. Stability, you get some bonuses if you have good stability, you get some debuffs if you have bad stability. It's not as important as it is in EU4. You can have low stability and you'll be relatively fine. What you want to look out for is aggressive expansion and tyranny, though. If you have high tyranny, your people will hate you. If you have high aggressive expansion, your neighbors will hate you.
Okay, so what gets you tyranny?
Tyranny, you can get tyranny by, for example, this is the government, and these are the political parties in the Senate. So if I were to, for example, endorse the populist faction, that will give me 5 tyranny. So I can boost the populist faction to get them over 50% in order to get them into power and have the next consul be a populist, and therefore the next ruler be a populist. But it will cost me a bunch of tyranny. And I can also imprison people and execute people and that kind of thing, and that will also give me tyranny.
Okay.
Right, so we have our nation overview, have our ruler, and we have ideas that we can set for our rulers. So Rome currently has 2 military idea slots and 1 oratory idea slot. And we can pick a few. Pretty simple. Morale of armies, boat, cost, reinforcement, speed. And then for oratory we have monthly corruption, monthly general, loyalty, improve opinion, blah blah blah. Now we can assign, for example, a civic or a religious idea to this. We can assign 3 oratory ideas if you want, but if we do as it says and assign 2 military and 1 oratory, we get this bonus. So we get monthly loyalty, and we get national freeman happiness, and we get +1 to each of these for our ruler. So they're quite nice bonuses.
Yeah, it's not bad. I imagine I have no idea how much these things are worth, but it sounds good.
Happiness is good, and these things are good, and loyalty is always good, because when you run out of loyalty, there is civil war. Governors have policies, and you can force the governor to change their policy if you want, but that will give you tyranny. So this governor has a policy of what's it called? local autonomy, right? Which gives happiness, but it lowers output.
Yeah.
This one is
That's
encourage
bad.
trade, local import routes, commerce income. Borderlands, local manpower, local fort defenses, acquisition of wealth, local tax, commerce income, but also a higher wage for the governor, which is currently ourselves, so our ruler gets a higher wage from himself. And that's encourage trade as well. We can change it to cultural assimilation, religious conversion, bleed them dry, social mobility, civilization effort. So we can change it. I generally don't mess around with this stuff. I just kind of let the governors do whatever they want to avoid getting my tyranny up. But yeah.
Fair enough.
You have your culture distribution, your religion, and your pop type. So culture is Latin, 98%. Religion is Hellenistic. And a little bit of Jewish. 1.78% Jewish, apparently. We have... What is that? Is that like one pop? 7 pops are Jewish, apparently.
Rome did have a Jewish community for quite a while.
Yeah, and we have 7 Hebrew pops. That's 7 Hebrews that are also Jewish. We have freemen, we have citizens, we have tribesmen, and we have slaves. Tribesmen are usually very few. You can promote your different pops to become citizens or freemen or slaves or whatever you want. You can move them around. It costs a bit of oratory power, though, I believe, or civic power.
Promote them to slavery.
Yeah, why not?
It's a step up in the world.
Oh no, sorry, you can only promote them upwards.
Oh, well, never mind.
Unfortunately. So you can promote a slave to be a tribesman, and a tribesman to be a freeman, and a freeman to be a citizen.
Damn.
I
Can't
guess.
just all promote them into slaves.
Yeah, unfortunately. But you do get a lot of slaves whenever you conquer any territory.
Oh, well, that's good.
Right, so we have ourselves a legion. The first legion. It's currently led by no one. This is bad. Very, very bad.
Yes, that's you shouldn't have that. That's very unhistorical. Come on.
So in EU4, you can get away with most of your armies not having leaders. If you have a really big stack, like a 30k stack or something, then you should probably assign a leader to that one and hopefully get like a 2-star or 3-star leader. But most of your armies can be fine without a leader in EU4. Not so in Rome.
No,
in
because
Rome,
that's illegal.
All of your legions require a general.
Yeah.
Well, they don't require, technically, but they will die if they don't have one. Because just by not having one, you immediately get negative 25 morale, which is basically your...
Jeez, that is... Yeah. Ouch.
It's terrible, yes. So any army that does not have a commander will basically be doomed. And it's very, very important how good your general is as well. I can assign this dude, Gnaeus Ognulius. He's 27. He's not very popular. He's not very prominent. He is pretty loyal. He's not corrupt. His martial ability is 1. This is basically... It's a step up from not having anyone because it removes the debuff. But it will be absolutely terrible. And like...
Yeah, I'm not having a lot of faith in this guy. I'm also not sure he was even old enough to be in charge of an army at that age. At least not historically.
Yeah. This dude is 25. This dude is 21. This dude is 17. Quintus Marcia Philippus. He's pretty good. He's a 7. So
wow. Good on him. He's doing better than I did at 17.
Sure. So I'm going to promote this guy, Marcus Fulvius Curvus. Now, he's a member of the religious faction, which doesn't bother me that much, because the religious faction can be pretty easily stamped out. But, so basically why there's a little icon down here telling you what political party your general adheres to is because whenever your general wins a battle, he gains more popularity. And if, as in Rome, if you were, a leader, a commander, and you did very well in battle, you became very popular at home, and you would probably gain a nice seat in the Senate, or you might even become consul.
Well, actually, to be in charge of an army, you had to be a consul for quite a while. Then things changed a little when they got bigger, because that was pretty impractical when you're no longer just in the Italian peninsula, but all over the place.
Yeah.
They eased the restrictions a bit. But it definitely meant that you could win re-election a lot easier if you had some nice battles you had won.
Yeah. So if you, for example, very much do not want the religious faction or the civic faction or whatever to win the election, then you would not assign any of those generals, because then they would gain popularity and they might win the election. And so you would only assign generals which are populists, if that's the faction that you support.
Well, of course.
So we might appoint Quintus Tremulus, head of the Tremuli family. I can't believe his name is Tremulus. All right.
Tremulous.
And he would gain some popularity. He's already pretty popular. He's at a 40 popularity. And then he might go on to become a politician. But we're going to assign the best general, which is this guy.
You and your meritocracy.
Right, so that's the problem with if you want to favor a specific political party very much, is you would lose out on some of the best generals. You will, yeah. So you might lose your wars even if you win the elections.
Well, which one's more important?
The government. So in the government you have, of course, your consul, who is elected every 5 years, and that can be changed under the laws how often someone is elected. So we can make it every 10 years, or we can make it every 50 years. And then eventually we can move on to not having elections at all and become an empire.
Guys, historically, those elections were every year. So it's...
we can make it, I believe, every second year.
I imagine that's for gameplay reasons.
Proposed by Mark Antony in the aftermath of Caesar's assassination, this law aimed to abolish dictatorship altogether, though was ultimately unsuccessful, perhaps paving way for the dawn of the empire. Lex Antonia is what that law is called. It costs 250 orgy power to change a law. So we have a candidate, and that is the person who seems most likely to become the next consul, based on his popularity, usually. This guy has 70% popularity. He's a member of the mercantile faction. And he looks to become our next consul if, this trend continues.
Well, do we want this trend to continue?
Could probably get in there and move some things around, but in the early game it doesn't really matter that much.
All right. So, yeah, what do these factions represent?
Right, so we have the civic faction. I don't know if it actually if it gives you like a description of the civic faction, or like what it means. No?
I guess they're just very civil.
I had a feeling it should tell you. I don't know where it tells you. But the civic faction is basically the they give building modifiers and tax. I suppose they're more the moderates, the conservatives, the what's that faction called? The senator faction, the more conservative
the
aristocratic one.
Optimates.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have the military faction, which is pretty self-evident. It's the ones who support, vehemently support the generals and the army and conquering and that kind of thing.
Now those get into power later in history.
Mercantile faction, they care about trade. Religious faction, they care about the Hellenistic religion. And the populist faction, they care about the people.
Yes.
Their modifier,
That's
though,
who we are.
Their modifier is a bad one, though.
Oh, what?
So them being in power is not actually good gameplay-wise, but it will unlock the ability to turn into an empire. The only way to become an empire is to have the populist faction in charge.
Okay, so what benefit does being an empire give you?
Well, basically, all of this shit goes away. You don't have to worry about elections anymore. You are essentially a monarchy. You have a ruler, and the heir is the son or daughter of that ruler. And basically, you don't have to worry about party affiliation anymore. All that goes away. All you have to worry about is loyalty to the emperor.
No, that does make things a lot easier.
It does, yes. And it does mean that you don't have to worry about trying to keep the populists in power or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, socialist monarchism.
Sure. We have different positions within the government. We have the censor. Office is the Republic's chief magistrate with responsibility over the state census, public morality, and clearing blockages in the Senate and courts.
Yep.
So we can assign a good guy. We can assign Quintus Oglinius. He's a populist. We want a populist as the censor because when we have a whoever is the censor affects the popularity gain of the different political parties.
Yeah.
So right now it's
because they can strike people from the list of who is in the Senate.
Yeah, the Quintus Ogulnius is his name, and he currently gives us, because we just assigned him, he gives us plus 0.6 populist faction support. We get negative 0.005 from Legis Genusiae, which I think is... Oh, actually, I don't know who that is. Oh no, it's a law, I think. Yeah, it's this one.
Does sound like a law.
Legis Genusiae. Genusian laws had a variety of errata. The keystone tenets held that any politician was forbidden from possessing more than one office simultaneously, and furthermore that at least 10 years must have passed after the date of his first election until a magistrate was able to hold the same office again. So that gives us less populist faction influence. So if we want the populist to be in charge, we might move to Principes Civitatis, which increases the election
among the people.
It increases the election term duration by 45 years, and it gives populist faction influence plus 0.2. So
nice. Yep.
Yeah. That's it's described basically the stepping stone to the empire.
Yep.
Son of Caesar Gaius Octavius, later known as the first emperor of Rome, reformed the very nature of the republic. Right.
Yep.
We have the Praetor, the Tribunus Militarum, the Praefectus Militarus, the Augur, the Pontifex Maximus, the Tribunus Plebis, and the Vulnerarius. And they all give different
I don't know
bonuses.
which the last one is, to be honest. What's the Vulner?
The most senior doctor of the Republic and is responsible for the care of senior politicians and their families.
Oh, I did not know there was a thing.
Apparently it is. So, we're just gonna replace all these guys with high. This guy's 12. Look at that. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of that guy.
What, the 12-year-old?
No, he's not 12. As in he's
Oh right. Oh right, I see.
That's a 12.
Well, it's 12. Oh,
we can't unassign this guy yet because we just assigned him. But
yeah.
We're gonna unassign him later and assign the guy that has a 12 because that's good.
It's weird you can assign the Pontifex Maximus because that was a position for life.
Oh, it's not in this.
Okay, well,
you can I can get rid of him right now if I want.
As I said earlier in the stream, I was going to pick on some of the inaccuracies here. Here's one.
We have Navy. Don't really care about the Navy for now. It's pretty unimportant, but...
Yeah, well, you're Rome. Who needs a Navy if you're Rome? Come on.
Exactly. Won't need that until we're at war with Carthage.
Yeah, according to some stories of the Punic Wars, Rome didn't even have a navy until the war with Carthage began.
Yeah,
and they modeled their navy. Like, one of the stories is that there's this ship from the Carthaginians which got stranded on the Italian beaches, and they just copied that ship, and suddenly they had a navy.
Nice.
That didn't have one before.
So I believe there's only one kind of ship in the game at the moment, and it's the
trireme.
Trireme.
Yes.
And the trireme basically works as a catch-all. It kills pirates, it kills other ships, and it can be used as a transport for your soldiers.
Yeah, good all-round ship.
Yeah.
Don't know why they went out of fashion, but I'm not into naval history, so...
This warning appears pretty important. It tells you that there is a disloyal character.
Oh dear.
Gnaeus Flavius. He is the party leader, I believe.
Yeah, I never trusted the Flavii family.
Yeah. He's a party leader of the populists. And he does not like me at the moment.
Well, no, he just appointed a bunch of populists.
Well, no,
What's his
I
problem?
appointed one populist.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
no, he's
we were
not very
talking
loyal
about
towards me
appointing one.
at the moment. We could
Hmm.
bribe him. We would pay 16 orgy. He would gain 20 loyalty. He would gain 5 corruption, and I would gain 1 corruption.
Hmm.
And I'll probably do that. There we go.
Okay,
Now
well,
he's no
same with the
longer
other one.
disloyal. But
Yeah, you can make friends. What does that mean?
right, so friendship, as far as I can understand it, is pretty useless.
Okay, then.
Unless I
Right.
think unless you're a monarchy, then it might be more important. But as a republic, it doesn't really matter because you only have your ruler for 5 years unless he manages to get re-elected, which usually doesn't happen.
Right.
And like you can make a bunch of friends. You can make friends with leaders of other countries or characters in other countries. You can make friends with people within your country, and it will increase their loyalty. And if you become friends with the monarch of another country, for example, it will increase that country's opinion of your country.
Yeah.
But if you only have your ruler for 5 years, then it doesn't really matter because it takes quite a while to become friends, and you usually have to do a bunch of investing like money and time into becoming friends with someone. So,
Right.
unless you're a monarchy or an empire, I wouldn't bother with making friends.
Gotcha. Just conquer them.
Yeah. Scorn families. Unless the total income its members receive from jobs and offices is at least 2% of your national income, they will be scorned. Families where everyone holds a job, so no member can hold a job, will also not be scorned. So, there are a bunch of different families in Rome, a bunch of different important families.
I recognise a few of them there.
Yeah, and they all want influence, basically, but you just can't.
No, I can't please them all.
You can't please them all. You might want to focus on a few important families. I usually don't give a shit about the families. I care
Alright.
about I'm a meritocracy, you know? I care about
Fair enough.
the characters much more so than the families. But yeah, sometimes people will be really, really upset with you if you ignore their families, but I don't really give a shit.
Well, your family should have been worth paying attention to.
You should have had better generals in your family.
Yeah, jeez, come on.
Invention, this is your tech tree-ish. So you have your researchers, and they will just kind of sit here and the progress bar will go, and then you get new things that you can pick from.
Yeah, so we've imported a bunch of Greeks to sit around and think.
Yeah. So we have 3 military, 3 civic, 3 oratory, and 3 religious. Religion is kind of catch-all. It's not always to do with religion. Like this one, Oath of Brotherhood, gives us army morale recovery, which has nothing to do with religion whatsoever. But
very religious, yes.
we can get technology speed +5 is pretty good. Diplomatic reputation is fabricated claim cost pretty useless. Improved economy maximum. Sorry, what?
Be right back.
Okay. We have things like tribal output, national tax, natural commerce income, military tech investment, starting experience for unit status, and boats. I'm gonna go with herbalism because then we get some technology speed cost. But actually, you can actually pick 2 things. I think the second one I will go for is, well, let's go for tax. Why not? 5% tax. That's good.
Yeah, the Romans love their taxes.
We have an omen. So this is our Hellenic religion. And for 160 religious mana, we can pick an omen that gives us a certain bonus. Blessing of Mars, Blessing of Jupiter, Blessing of Apollo, Mercury, Minerva, Fortuna, Pluto, and Ceres.
Where's... Hang on. Fuck. Where's Venus? Come on, she's the best.
She's not here.
Well, fine. Let's see.
Population growth, tax, research points, national unrest, national commerce, income, national manpower, discipline, and aggressive expansion change.
I'm just going by like these numbers as I've remembered them from EU4. Those are some big numbers.
Mm-hmm. National manpower is definitely good. Like, omens are temporary. That's what you remember. You only have them for a certain amount of time, and then they go away, and you have to pick You have to spend
Okay.
more to get new.
That
Roman.
does make sense.
Yes. So I
was
think
thinking, if this is just a permanent modifier, like until your ruler gets replaced, that's
no.
big.
Omens are here even when your ruler gets replaced. So even if you get a new ruler, your omen remains until it's supposed to
Right,
go
it's
away.
just for a set amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, gotcha.
22.4% tax is very nice. I think we're gonna go for that one actually.
Mm-hmm.
We have that until the 1st of October 455. So we have that for 5 years. So that will actually coincide with the election of our next ruler.
Yeah, nice.
Just coincidentally. Lack of
I'm
commander is the
sure
first
people
navy.
will appreciate you having taxed them an extra 20% of their income.
Oh, I mean, they don't actually give a shit.
But that's good.
Yeah. So, forts, pretty important to keep a track of where you have your forts. Keep your forts on the borders of your enemies. But as soon as we have conquered these guys, then we can get rid of this fort. Because forts cost money to maintain, and we don't want to have them a bunch of useless forts sitting around.
Makes sense.
As Rome, I usually go after Sabinia first.
Yes, the Sabines.
We're gonna get...
That's how Rome got its start, actually.
Yeah.
Like, literally, in the Roman history, that's how they started off. Because Rome's origin story is that they were basically just a bunch of pirates and thieves and folks, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And funnily enough, not a lot of ancient women were very attracted to those people. Very strange. It also wasn't a lifestyle which attracted a lot of women, which posed a bit of a problem to the long-term sustainability of the demographics of Rome, in that they couldn't reproduce. So they decided to invite their good friends the Sabines over for a big old party and kidnapped all the women. And then there was a bit of a short fight between, the remaining men of the Sabines and the Romans. But the women thought, nah, hang on, we got these new husbands now, apparently, and we're very devoted to them for some reason. So no more fighting, you two.
The Sabines actually just invited me into a defensive league, and I
Well,
politely declined.
It's nice that the Sabines have forgiven you already for
Well,
past
we haven't. I
transgressions.
don't think we. Well, have we done anything against them yet?
Well, according to Roman origin stories, yes.
Oh, well then.
It's
so,
very likely that these stories are not entirely accurate, though.
the ascendance of Rome. The end of the recent conflict with our enemies in Etruria and Samnium has left our republic as the strongest power on the Italian peninsula. Our victory has firmly convinced our feudatories in the value of supporting our cause, and has shown other small states that the value of being on our side. Roman settlers are now moving on their own accord into the regions to our north and east, establishing new colonies expecting our protection. Everyone now looks to us, from Samnium to Etruria to Sicily to Carthage, awaiting our next move. I sing of warfare and a man at war. We gain claims on Tusia, Etruria, Campania, Apulia, Lucania, and Picenum. So
Nice.
we get claims on a whole bunch of places, basically.
Yes.
Including Sabinians.
Nice. Well, you want them, Well, you want all of Italy eventually.
Yes. So, that will call in the Umbrians and the Picentians, but that shouldn't be a big problem because we have allies. So, the Senate isn't voting for it, apparently.
Oh,
look at that. The Senate isn't quite sure whether they want to go to war yet.
Why doesn't the Senate want? Aren't they not good Romans? Do they not support war? Are they against the troops?
The civic faction is very supportive of war. The military faction, ironically, is against war.
What? They're Romans. How can any good Roman be against war?
It seems that... I'm not sure.
Well, maybe if you declare war on someone else.
I wonder if they would support war on anyone else. I don't think so.
Huh.
No, not currently. Well, maybe
Okay.
we will just sit and wait.
Well, it's,
We could force it through the Senate. That will gain us about a bit of tyranny. Oh no, there are now 50 seats behind declaring war. So it might increase. These guys want
word
to
has
trade.
gone out that we have some claims on this territory now for some reason.
51 seats behind. How many seats are there? Shouldn't there be 100 seats?
Actually, it varied how many seats they had, from anywhere from like 200 to like 500 or something. It very much varied how many people actually showed up.
Alright, I think we're gonna force this through the Senate. We'll get a bit of tyranny, but that's fine. I think the Senate will just have to learn to love war.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna move over here, and then we're gonna see what happens, what they do. These guys seem to be on their way, but we should be fine, I think.
Just actual allies, waste all their manpower.
Oh dear. Okay, they seem to be leaving. We have 6,000 troops coming to help us, 6,000 of our allies. And here we go, this is the end result. 20,000 versus 7,200. So, something that I always do is I look at the battle and I look what tactic they're using. They're using the shock action tactic. We use the same one. I think it's based on culture, which one they use, and because they're Latin, they use shock. And I think the Gauls use skirmishing, I believe. It might also be based on government type, I'm not sure. But so they use shock, and we also use shock. That's our default. And so we should change ours to something which is beneficial against shock. So as soon as we're done with this battle, we are victorious. We will take a look over here, and we will change this to something which is good against shock, which is bottleneck. I believe. Yes, we'll change to bottleneck. And then we will have a bit of an advantage against shock. 9% to be exact. It also favors heavy infantry, 34%, and archers, 13%, which is fine.
Now, surprisingly enough, Rome didn't really use much of archers.
The archers are our primary cohorts by default. Okay, it looks like I think we're gonna abandon this siege. Because it looks like they're gonna try to flank us from over here, so we're gonna move. And we'll maybe let our allies take care of the siege. Yeah, there we go. 16,000, 6,000 men. We also have mercenaries down here by Rome. 16, 14 and 26,000 mercenaries that we can hire. They cost quite a bit of gold, but they're, pretty useful. If you're in a
Rome
pinch.
definitely used those.
Let's see, so they're gonna go over here, so we're just gonna meet them and take care of them. Let's see what they use. They use the deception tactic, apparently. Interesting. So I'm not occupying them as much as I'm just kind of focusing on taking out all their stupid legions.
Someone in the chat wants you to hover over Sardinia for a moment.
Sardinia.
That's the bigger of the two islands over.
It's over here. It's controlled by Carthage around the coast, and then by
some other people.
Sardinia Borealis, Balearia, and Iliencia. They're tribes, I believe. Yeah.
Well, there you go, person in the chat.
There you go. I hope that interested you. Alright, we're doing pretty well. We can probably raise a few cohorts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy infantry. And 1, 2, 3 auxiliary will do. So our allies are very useful at the start. Some people want to integrate all of these allies as soon as possible, but I usually like to keep them around because it's just nice to have them kind of take care of everything, you know. Because usually, if I didn't have my allies, if I just integrated them and made them part of Rome, I would have to build a second army and put that over here and take care of doing all of this shit. But now they're just doing it for me, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's like having vassals in EU4, I suppose. They just you focus on like the big battles while they siege everything down and whatnot.
Honestly, they're focusing on a battle there, which is pretty much more important than mine.
Oh well, yeah.
But you know,
they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Someone's asking if there are any Slavic tribes in the late game.
Let's take a look at culture. Baltic, Dacian, Scythian.
And when did the Slavs become a thing?
I don't know. This year 303 BCE at the moment, and we have the Pretani.
Let's see.
Hibernians. Yeah, no. I mean the Slavs would be over here, wouldn't they? So no, it doesn't seem like there are any Slavs. The Balkans are all Greek, Noric, and a bit Latin. And this region over here is Dacian. So no, I don't think there are any Slavs.
Well, I just open up Google, and apparently Slavs only became a entered historical record only in like the 6th century. So well, I'm not holding out a lot of hope for.
It's gonna be a while then.
But maybe they are a thing in the game, you know. I mean, just because someone hasn't written about them doesn't mean everyone's around.
Oh yeah, I mean they're probably, you know, up in the impassable terrain.
Yeah, in the
living,
general Slavic region.
Yeah, living here and there. All right, created a second legion here. It's for some reason called 9th Legion. Whatever. And now here we have Gaius Junius Bubulcus. He's crafty and he's aggressive. And he has martial level 12, which is, I think, one of the highest you can have. I think 15 is the highest. Really rare. Wow. I think the highest I've ever had is 13.
Wow, look at that. Time for some meritocracy.
Yeah. He's a member of the civic faction, so that's fine.
Oh, they support war. It's good.
So we have... so the different unit types have different things, basically. Archers and heavy infantry move at the same speed. Cavalry move at 4. So cavalry have damage versus archers plus 25, and damage versus chariots, and versus light infantry and horse archers, apparently. But not as much against heavy infantry or elephants or heavy cavalry. Heavy infantry is good against chariots and heavy cavalry and light infantry, and it's neutral against archers and heavy infantry and elephants. Archers are good against light infantry, and that's it. Not that useful, but they're cheap, and that's basically it.
No,
I prefer archers over light infantry, usually. So you can also select who goes first, so you can select your primary cohorts, the one that will be the first to engage the enemy. And we've selected the Sagittari, the archers. And the secondary cohorts are the heavy infantry, the ones who will come in afterwards. And the flanking cohorts are the cavalry. And we can change the size of our flank from 5 to 10 if we want. Or 2. We're gonna keep it at we'll keep it at 5, I suppose. We only have 3 cavalry. This legion over here has 5 cavalry. If we had 10 cavalry, we could have a flank size of 10 if we felt like it, or we could not. I think we'll move this second legion over here because I think they're gonna want to pass over, try to flank us from this side. So we're just gonna keep on guard.
Now hold the phone for a moment because Peter wants to join.
Oh.
Hang on,
Yes.
I'll invite him to the
Okay, cool.
thing. Let's see. Yeah, it's looking like a fun game so far.
Yeah. It has negative reviews on Steam. A lot of people are pissed. I think people were expecting more. They were expecting, a full-fledged Paradox title.
That's not how Paradox works. There's a long-term, DLC investment fund you have to invest in. Come on.
Yeah, there's a period of time where nothing has where the game is pretty bare bones, and then DLC comes out, and then patches come out, and then it becomes more of a full-fledged game. That's how it was in CK2. That's how EU4 was. That's how Hearts of Iron was.
And even with you don't even have to buy all the DLC to get it. Half the content gets just thrown in like the patches or something.
Yeah. So, this politician, or researcher rather, but he's head of a family, an important family in Rome. He has offered us a gift.
Hey.
A bonus, national commerce income plus 10%. However, because he's a member of the mercantile faction, we would now owe the mercantile faction a favor.
Whoa.
So
Do we
favors,
want that?
favors in the game. Basically, you can get lucky or you can get unlucky. Sometimes you will or they will give you something and you will owe them a favor, and then later they will call in that favor, and it can be something huge, paying them lots and lots of money. You're making someone like really stupid, like a level 1 diplomat, the head of the censor or something like that. Or sometimes you just give them like, oh yeah, here's 5 gold, and they're like, oh, thank you very much. So
Bit of a gamble.
Yeah, I don't like, especially with national commerce income. That's basically worthless. I mean, it's not worthless, but it's not very nice, and I don't really care that much for being indebted to the mercantile faction. So if I say no, he's gonna lose 40 loyalty and 5 prominence. So he's gonna become disloyal because he's gonna be below 30% loyalty. But I'm gonna say fuck him. I don't give a shit.
Also, hello, Peter.
Hello.
Hello,
How are
Peter.
you? Hey.
Also, we have another super chat. From
Yeah.
Awesome Everton giving £2, asking to be made a trusted member on Discord.
That's not how that works. I'm
Well,
sorry
it
to
can
say.
work that way, but it doesn't.
Yeah, no, you can't buy your way into trusted membership, I'm
Generally,
afraid.
you can't. No.
Yeah, if you want a refund for
But
those £2, let me know.
What you can do is post a petition,
Yeah, sure.
and the bureaucratic process will in time handle your request.
And mention that you've contributed to the
Yes,
the
do
monetary
mention
fund.
that. I will definitely endorse you for a trusted member position. You've just bought my endorsements. That's how easy it goes, people.
Yeah. So is the game going well? I've only had the time to watch for a few minutes before joining.
I mean, we haven't really done that much yet. We are currently
we've
at war
invaded
with the...
the Sabines, from who
Yeah.
we already stole the women, if you know your Roman history.
Yeah.
Women gotta steal them.
Indeed.
How well do you know your Roman history, Peter?
I watched that HBO show Rome. Does that count?
That's good enough,
It's
I
not
think.
too bad. I have issues with it, but it's not too bad.
I watched a few episodes of it. It wasn't that interesting to me. I like Roman history,
Yeah.
but like that show in particular, just it wasn't.
Yeah, I
didn't
have my
catch me.
issues with it.
I like
I
documentaries
like Roman
more.
history too, but I think it's really complicated to understand how the society worked
Oh,
and
yeah.
to get to get a full grasp on how it's. I always struggle with the way that society was structured because it was so aristocratic in a sense. There were so many boxes you fell into as a person in Rome,
Oh yeah, it's a complicated society.
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, we have won the siege. We can try to sue for peace and take 3 things that we want.
They
We
do
can-
make up for having a complicated society by having a very simple military, which is very nice for someone like me who is terrible at military history.
So, we are now, after defeating our enemies, we're now a regional power.
Yes.
The Sabinian elite, after a protracted conquest, we finally routed the Sabinian armies and laid waste to their lands. During the sacking of their capital, many important prisoners were taken, many of them having previously held important positions in the Sabinian clan council. They now languish in our dungeons, awaiting whatever fate we decide to impose upon them. We can see our enemies deserve no quarter. Every character in Sabinia will be put to death before the cheering crowds of Roma. We would gain
tempting.
5 popularity.
Ooh, well.
We could banish
What
those
does
of
the rest
class and put the rest to the sword. Important characters will be banished to foreign lands instead of executed or incarcerated. We would lose 50 aggressive expansion, which is quite nice, but our aggressive expansion isn't that high yet, so it doesn't really matter. We can imprison their leaders and let the rest disappear. We would lose popularity for not executing them. Because, the people of Rome, they love their executions. Or we could pass judgment on the important families individually. And just to bring that up, to show you what that's like. So we have we have 4 different important families. Several important families are known for having held sway in Sabinia. Whilst we have consigned to the lesser men and women of this fallen nation to their fate, we must decide carefully upon how to treat the Sabinian elite. So we can welcome one or, as many of the families that we like. We can welcome this one, which is a very large family, 32 members. And, each member is a character, and each character, of course, has a certain amount of points in military, civic, oratory, and religion. So a lot of characters means a higher chance of getting, for example, a really good general with a very high martial skill. So we could get this Nemesius family with 32 members who would lose 5 popularity. I'm going to take that one. These the ones, 3 members, 1 member, not really worth the popularity. So we can have them crucified, and we gain 3 popularity. 1.25 popularity per family crucified.
I see.
So now we're now a regional power. We've increased rank in our regional power instead of a local power. So we gain some effects. Capital import routes +1, diplomatic relations +3, diplomatic range 50%, government bonus multiplier 100%. Dope.
Nice.
And they accepted our peace offer, of course. Why wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on. Who would refuse the generosity of Rome?
Yeah. So now that we've taken care of our northern neighbors, we're going to look toward the south in Samnium.
Yeah, the Samnites.
And this is
They were
impassable
quite
terrain.
the enemy
so-
of Rome.
How does this work chronologically in the history of Rome? Do you know? Does it say?
We're in 452 BC.
Okay.
So that's about, I think, 150 or so years
Oh,
after
no.
the
This is
mythological founding of
302 BCE.
Oh.
The date that's up here is Ab Urbe Condita.
Ah, I see, yes. So 450 years after the city was founded.
Yes, so in the Gregorian calendar, it's the 12th of October, 302 BC.
Right.
I believe you can't change in the settings which one it shows.
Well, let's leave it the Roman calendar, come on.
Yeah, mine.
So 452 years ago, the city of Rome was founded by some refugees from Turkey, or what is today Turkey? Around there.
So we have an unused import trade route in Rome, meaning we can import something if we want. And there's currently not a lot of things we can import. We can import, of course, depending on who wants to trade with us, and most people don't. And this is because of our aggressive expansion. We just conquered a bunch of provinces. We crucified a bunch of people. The countries around us don't like that very much. If our overseas expansion goes down, our neighbors will like us more, and they will be willing to trade more.
To be fair, crucifying those people was not good PR.
Yeah. Right now we can get salt. We can get salt from Emporia. Get a bit of army maintenance cost down. Or we can get a bit of fish, local population growth, and freeman happiness. We can get fish from Liburnia and Histria. I just want to make sure that none of those are places that we want to conquer later. Byzantium, Ancon. Who are you? Oh yeah, that's fine. We can trade with you. That's fine.
Nice.
You're not on the Italian peninsula, so you don't. We're not gonna turn around and declare war on you later. Sorry, I'm gonna. Oh. What the fuck? I'm sorry, I just got a really weird notification. So someone that left a Discord group that I was in over a year ago, and I got a notification about it. Yeah, just never mind. That was weird.
Discord shenanigans.
I have a question, Azure. It's not related to the game.
Okay.
But in Sweden, do you have those posters hanging around town when there's an election?
We have posters, yes.
Hanging in poles and stuff?
What?
Hanging in like poles and stuff around town?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because I found out a lot of countries don't allow it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, we have those.
Okay.
I don't think we have them in polling stations, but we do have them on like billboards all across town. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going out tomorrow to hang a couple of hundreds of those up.
Oh,
Yeah,
have fun.
There's a Social Democratic poster outside of the polling station in my town.
Yeah,
there are
I
a
don't
bunch
think
of
there's
them.
any restrictions on that here either.
I have no idea. Yeah, there's an alliance over from the Etruscans.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Now the Etruscans, they have 30 cohorts. We are roughly equal right now. We could ally with them if we wanted to. The Etruscans usually fall to Carthage, I believe. I don't know. I think we're going to say no for now.
I see. Yeah, no, the War of the Etruscans was one of the larger ones Rome fought in its early history.
Yeah, we will.
Along with the Samnites.
I'm just going to change the economy around, so I'm going to raise the taxes. And that gives us a bit slower research. That's fine. Gives us higher slave output. Higher tax, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Higher commerce budget. We get higher income from commerce. But we also need more slaves. But that's fine, because we get a lot of slaves from conquering. Army maintenance, we're going to keep on the default. We can raise it to increase the morale of armies at the expense of gold. The fleet maintenance I've lowered as much as possible because I don't give a shit about our navy at the moment. We don't need it. Fort maintenance, I'm going to keep the same. We can raise it if we want. Lower it. It's pretty useless either way. It doesn't really matter. Wages are quite nice. I don't know how much. Yeah, no, that's way too much. So we can raise wages by 50%. And all characters in that are employed, I believe, will gain plus 0.1 loyalty every month, which is very nice, but it costs a bit too much for us to do right now.
I'm gonna head off again because I have to get up early tomorrow. I just wanted to say hi and
Okay.
Fair enough. Good luck with the posters.
Thank you very much, and keep watching, people. This is gonna get crazy when that Jesus guy comes around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, take care.
Take
Good
care.
night.
A feast for Marcus. The residents of Neapolis are holding a celebration in honor of their much-loved governor Marcus Fulvius Paetinus, renowned for his beneficence, tolerance, and common sense. It's nice to see our approved candidates validated in such a way. We can say on with the celebration, and they get celebration in progress. Everyone is very happy. The governor gains 15 popularity. He's currently at 25% popularity. It's interesting that they're holding a feast for him when he's so unpopular. He gains 10 prominence, and he gains the trait kindly. That's very nice. Currently he has the traits obsessive. So he would be obsessive but kindly. Or we can say he does not deserve such jubilation. And we'll have
no, he doesn't. He only has 25 popularity. Come on.
Yeah.
Low standards of, being popular in Rome.
He is a member of the mercantile factions. I'm gonna say he doesn't deserve such celebrations.
No.
If he was a populist, I would definitely say on with celebrations. But
well, yes.
let's see. See if we can recruit to auxiliary cavalry. And right, do we have a war goal? We do. That's nice, but we still don't have approval from the Senate. They're still divided. Now we could. By the next election, I think I'm gonna get a bit of tyranny up, and I'm gonna promote the populist. So get a populist leader, and then have the populist just be a majority in the Senate, because then basically we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
At the expense of a bit of tyranny, but the populists actually like tyranny.
Well, that's good.
So yeah. The populists also like corruption, so bribing characters.
Socialist monarchism.
Almost, we're not quite there yet.
No,
take a look
give some
at
time.
decisions. We can embrace social equality. Let's do that. Rome enables both men and women to serve in office.
There's 2 questions in the chat, by the way. So, Gamer Gary wants to know what your thoughts on the games are, on this game is so far.
I like the game so far, and I think it's going to become a lot better.
There you go, Gary.
As Paradox titles go.
Yeah, probably. From what I'm not playing it, obviously, but from what I can see, it looks fun. Yeah, liking it so far.
The map is very nice. The mechanics are very nice. The army, like just controlling the armies, is nice. The AI is good, but good enough.
Nice big map.
Yeah, the map is nice and big, and it's very beautiful as well. You can zoom in very far and see all the details of the little cities. The rivers, and it just looks very nice. It looks a lot better than EU4.
Yeah, and also like the little bits of history they do put in.
Yeah.
And obviously some things are changed for like the gameplay. Like, you don't have a fucking election every year you have to deal with. Which, is a problem, and became more and more of a problem as Rome became bigger. And it was sort of doable in this size, but, imagine when they have like Spain as well and Greece, like, doing elections on that scale for like every year for like generals is a problem. So, but anyway, I'm drifting off. I'm liking it so far. It's
so these are a few decisions that we can make. Not currently, but we could. We can enact a plutocratic republic. The lure of profit and prosperity is something we must enshrine into our very constitution, abandoning the trappings of lesser nations. As we will become a plutocratic republic. Rulers reign for 5 years. Rulers can be elected after 10 years. Civic ideas 2. Religious ideas 1. And we get some bonuses. We can promote oligarchy. Become an oligarchic republic. Constitutionalizing the inherent superiority of those who have versus those who have not will ensure that Rome maintains a prosperous government. So we get 1 civic ideas and 2 oratory ideas instead, and some other bonuses. Proclaim theocratic republic. By help of the divine and with the seal of her people, Rome shall endure for all eternity. We get 2 religious ideas, 1 oratory idea. We get a 3 theocratic republic. We could also proclaim dictatorship.
There we go.
It's becoming increasingly apparent that power cannot be trusted in the hands of the many. Absolute security demands absolute authority. And once we have done that, we can proclaim an empire afterwards. So we first become a dictatorship, and then we become an empire.
I see.
And in order to do this, we need 1 stability, which we have. Our consul needs to have greater or equal to 90 popularity. Rome needs to have greater or equal to 20 tyranny. the populist faction needs to have greater or equal to 80 support. And we need to have enacted Principes Civitatis, which we will. I think, yeah, we can do that now.
All right.
This one is Campus Martius. Inspire them to greatness. Expand the training site will have a greater capacity for recruiting and preparing soldiers for warfare. Embellish the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. Yeah, so that's some religious stuff. So this is the one we're aiming for. We need, 20 tyranny and the populist faction to have 80 support, which is a daunting task, but we can get there. We need a lot of oratory power to get there, though.
I'm looking forward to it. There's another question, by the way. Which other Paradox game do you think you like the most? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Sorry, I misread that. Which other Paradox game do you think this game is the most like?
It's pretty much a mix between mostly EU4 and CQ2, but with some elements of Victoria 2. I would say.
That.
But mostly EU4, probably. But there's a lot of CQ2 in here too as well.
Yeah, it looks fairly EU4-y.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing this Crusader Kings influence, although I have not played that game a lot.
No.
But I'm seeing some of its influence at least.
So currently the Senate would not support going to war, but let's see. They're not allied with anyone. So I think we're just gonna force it through. We need that tyranny up anyway. Alright, so we have 8,000 troops over here. Now, these guys, I don't know what they were doing, but their morale was very low. I think they actually might have dropped their... So if you drop your army maintenance down to decreased pay, and then you end up at war, either someone declares war on you or you declare war on someone else, it will automatically go up to the default. So I think what might have happened is they dropped their army maintenance, they stopped paying their armies, and then suddenly their wages went up, so their maximum morale is very high, but their actual morale is very low.
Yes.
Now we're gonna split this guy in two, just so that we can try to occupy two provinces at once, and just for safety. Oh yeah, we have women now. She's a 9, as in she has 9 martial ability, not saying she's a 9 as in... Alright.
No, 9 out of 10, she's beautiful.
We can actually appoint... we're gonna appoint this guy, Drusus Numisius. He's a charisma 8, and he's a populist. We're gonna appoint him. That's good. Currently no female party leaders. Can take a while.
Well,
But, these things
even
take
in
time.
ancient times we had this gender gap.
Yeah. Very interesting that, all it takes is the flick of the wrist of the console and suddenly there's,
Qualified women all around.
perfect gender equality.
That is pretty impressive. It shows you the power of dictatorship.
It's not actually a dictatorship yet.
Well, yeah.
We can declare a dictatorship. We can appoint ourselves to be dictator. The Senate wouldn't approve of it, though. We can appoint ourselves to be dictator. We will get 20 tyranny. Would lose 50, pay 50 mana military and religious. Adds temporary extension to your ruler's term. After this point, elections will occur as normal. Rome gains dictatorial term until the 12th of December 454. Morale of armors plus 5%, election duration plus 1. Emergency powers are granted to your consul until you're next to peace. Dictatorial powers means that the Senate will vote in your favor for most actions. I believe that's his ambition to be appointed dictator. And if he was appointed dictator, then Rome would gain 1 stability. But stability isn't that useful, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, dictatorships were only like 1 year, like half a year or 1 year terms.
Yeah.
Unless you have, your dictatorship for life things,
That is what we're aiming for.
Ah, yes. Those are the best.
The best kind of dictatorships are the ones that last for life.
Indeed, it's what I'm aiming for. It's my personal ambition.
Yeah.
Being, dictator for life of the Netherlands.
Netherlands,
I'm not too sure I want this area, to be honest. Maybe Germany. Germany's a bit.
Tribal
better.
people request migration. A sizable quantity of tribal people resident in the city of Interamnia have requested permission of the local administrative officers to cross the border into land
They
owned
asked the
by a neighbor.
bureaucrats. I mean, who are we to refuse? I mean, they went through the proper bureaucratic channels.
Yeah. The request comes backed up by a generous promise of gold, but our local officials are reluctant to lose such lucrative workers. So, yeah, they want to...
Oh, wait, hang on. They want to leave. Whoa.
Yeah, they want to emigrate.
No. We don't do emigration. That's bad.
We can redirect them to somewhere more appropriate, which I think is within our borders, possibly. They will move to Peltunium. Let's find
But
out.
hang on. Where would they migrate to? Is it like a province we're about to conquer anyways?
Peltunium. They would move to Asculum, which is right here. So we would not. Yeah, they would move there. We're not in the process of conquering. So we can tell them to move to Peltunium instead, which is within our borders. They would not be very happy about that, negative 25%. Or we can say under no circumstances. And that option is available to us because our ruler is cruel.
Oh, okay.
And they get denied movement, and the local tribesmen there will be negative 50% happiness.
Very unhappy.
Yeah. But we can redirect them to somewhere more appropriate, so they stay within the borders of Rome, but they can still migrate if they want to.
Yeah, internal migration, that's fine.
Yeah. We don't want them to move into the lands of our enemies, though, because then they would...
Why would you want to leave such a great country as Rome?
That's very true as well.
Yes. Now, sometimes you just have to protect these tribesmen from their own silly mistakes and decisions.
I mean, the tribesmen, you know how they are. They don't understand borders.
Yeah, they haven't had some, old Greek guy educate them about the world.
Yeah. Ooh, we can get a new invention. Professional sailors, military artisans, standardized measures, tribal reserve. We can get Oath of Brotherhood, army morale recovery. That's quite nice. We've almost finished conquering these idiots. They have 2 forts, which is annoying. Oh, our Majesty reports a death. We bring sad news. Tremulia Prima has died during childbirth at the age of 32. She's the general of Legion 2 and a friend of the governor Magia Graecia.
Wait a minute, she was leading an army while pregnant?
Yeah, I guess so, man.
Jeez, fucking, these Roman women were tough. Fucking hell.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, she was leading the 2nd Legion, which was in like 3 different fights.
Maybe, I don't know.
While she was pregnant, and then she died in childbirth.
Don't you have like fucking pregnancy leave yet?
I guess not from the army.
Well, okay then.
It's important to point out, we don't have women soldiers, only female generals. We don't let women be soldiers.
Well, no, of course.
That would be ridiculous.
Well, if they are pregnant, sure, that would be a bit silly, but...
Alright.
No pregnancy leave in ancient times. You should really pass a law about this.
I don't care about any of these good families, so we'll just crucify them all. And where should we look to next? Find someone that's not allied with anyone. That's our vassal.
Going quite quickly.
Sorry, what?
This expansion is going pretty quickly. We've only played for like 4 years now.
Yeah, it's 300 BCE now.
Yeah, oh, look at that.
Yeah. So Apulia, they have 10 cohorts. That's not too bad. Can probably declare one of these assholes over here. So this little province here, Sipontum, they're allied with Apulia, but Apulia isn't too powerful, so we can take care of them. A son has been born to our consul, which doesn't really matter in the slightest because we're not a monarchy, so...
No, who gives a shit? Like, you know,
Yeah.
30 years from now, this kid might, you know, become a good politician. But
30 years from now, this
maybe.
kid will be a researcher or some... I mean,
Yeah, 30
most
years
likely
from
he
now,
will be
this
nothing.
guy-
He will just be sitting there.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, 30 years from now, we can do the whole thing where, you know, he'll run for like the lowest office in the Senate.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah, so
knows?
we're
Maybe
gonna-
one day he'll make something of himself.
Let's have a look. Do we have... Oh yeah, we do have a... We do have a nice little... And we also have approval. Senate would approve of war. That's good.
Hey,
I wonder what
that's good.
changed. 84 seats behind declaring war. I don't know why they're suddenly so...
Well,
Oh, it might be
seen-
because...
Not a populist in charge.
No, it's because our consul has become more popular.
Yeah,
I believe
from winning all those awards.
from winning the wars. Yeah. Jesus Christ! Look at that flag. The Hellenistic local power of Pieria. That's all right. Sure. Fuck off.
Rumen Kostov asks if you think they'll ever make Victoria free.
No. They've been
Well, there
pretty
you go.
clear that they have no plans to make Victoria 3, and they don't really want to make Victoria 3.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It's, you know, it sucks, but that's what it is.
Mm.
I believe that the entire team that worked on Victoria 2 doesn't work there anymore. I think they
Yeah,
moved
right.
on. So the only people who are available to make Victoria 3 would be the makers of EU4 or CK2 or something, and they would probably just make, you know, another Europa Universalis or something, another Crusader Kings. So, yeah.
Well, at least we got this game now, so who
Yeah, I
needs
don't know who
Victoria
made this
free?
game actually.
Come on.
Which team made this game, but
Yeah, who cares? We have this game. Who needs Victoria free?
all right, take Apulia. Declare war. We don't even need to get a bunch of tyranny, because the Senate apparently has become very bloodthirsty.
Good.
After they realized after winning all those wars how good it is to win
Yeah,
wars.
they now support the troops to use.
Yeah,
modern,
they're now patriotic.
Yes, indeed.
It's this guy who we denied his favor. And he still hates us, and now he's an
Aw.
old man. He's he's 51. He's not that old. He looks very
Old
old.
as
though.
fuck. Jeez, fucking boomer. Or
Yeah.
whatever he is.
So usually, you know, let's see. So yeah, he hates us, but his wife, she has 77% loyalty, and his children, one is 0 years old and one is 3. They both have 70% loyalty towards the state. So he has failed.
The only
to,
one in the family, and not the rest of his family doesn't even respect him.
Yeah. He's the only one in the family doesn't like the console.
Oh,
Now forts, you can see here, this fort became occupied by Siponium. That's because they have a fort over here, and a fort which is bordering an enemy province which does not have a fort, or does not border not a friendly fort, will be occupied. So they can occupy this province because this province does not have a fort, and this province does not have a fort. However, this province has a fort, as you can see here. And so this province protects all of the surrounding cities. So this one cannot be occupied and this one cannot be occupied because they border a friendly fort. But this one can be occupied. So that's something you
The
can look
good
out
old
for.
fort system.
Yeah. And if you have, if you just put a bunch of forts around, the borders of your enemies, then you can get a few free provinces. I keep saying provinces, I mean cities. That's what they're officially called. Whatever, you know what I mean.
Provinces, states, things, whatever.
Yeah, the small things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going 5 speed because we're just working on occupying these forts. A tip for those who care: you can create a dedicated siege legion consisting of only light infantry and use them to occupy the forts, or siege the fort, and not put archers or cavalry or heavy infantry, especially heavy infantry, in the legions that you want to be sieging forts, because as you can see, you take attrition when you're sieging forts, and you don't really want your heavy infantry to be taking attrition basically ever. Currently we don't have any light infantry though, but if we did, we would use our light infantry to siege these forts, and we would use our heavy infantry to kill people.
I see.
That's just some of the stuff that you can keep in mind going forwards.
But also want to keep in mind not to fight over a river and into mountains.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I've learned after about several hundred hours of playing EU4 to not do that.
Yeah, there are environmental
penalties in combat.
Penalties, yeah.
But if you can make the enemy, attack you while you're fighting, in the mountains on the other side of the river, that's very good.
Yeah. Sure. Put some forts down. Just sit and wait.
Yep.
You're a little bit, if you want to, build a really large empire, you are a little bit fighting against the clock, because you don't have that much time to build, a vast empire, because the game kind of ends when you're about to become so powerful that nothing in the game can stand against you, because then the game would just be you steamrolling over really tiny tribes, and that would really be all that much fun.
Yeah, so what is the end date here?
I can't remember, actually. We now have a populist ruler. Gnaeus Flavius.
Yes, the Flavius family, my favorite.
I boosted the populist a bit, just to get them into power.
Yeah, I saw.
So we have 22 tyranny,
tyrant.
so that's a good amount of tyranny to have.
Yeah.
We're gonna enact Principes Civitas, which is
Hey.
a law which will give the populists a bit more power. And as you can see there, the populists gained a few seats. They were at 50, now they're at 59, only because we changed the election reforms. And that's actually a cheeky way to get the populists up to 80 support, is if you have about 1,000 oratory power saved up, and you switch between the Principes Civitas and another election reform.
Doesn't take away that influence. It
Yeah,
just,
so the populists just keep gaining until they're at 80, and then once they're at 80, you switch to dictatorship, and then you're done. You're cool. If you were if you were to do that and then not switch to dictatorship, then their popularity would instantly drop. They only have that popularity for a tiny amount of time, and then all the seats get redistributed.
So the usual until like the end of the month thing, I imagine, with Paradox games anyway.
I don't know. I think it might almost be instant. So you should pause the game,
right,
and then do that, and then you have populace at 80, and then you immediately do the decision to switch to dictatorship, and then you're good.
I imagine this will be patched out. I enjoyed what last, listener. Viewer.
Legis actiones. Recent work of plebeian jurist Gnaeus Flavius, Legis Actionis, or Actions in Law, is the first written account of the legal procedures of Rome. The importance of his work propelled him to the office of tribune of the plebs, and garnered him wide popular support. A full extent and interpretation of our laws until now have been a verbal tradition of our judiciary, and Flavius's attempt to codify part of our legal procedures for a wider audience has not been wholly appreciated. Some patricians argue a public airing of our sacred laws, by a plebeian no less, threatens their traditional prerogative over government positions and the laws of Rome, while the populace welcome greater rights and participation for the plebs.
Mm-hmm.
So, our consul, Gnaeus... What the fuck was his name? Gnaeus Flavius. Gains 10 popularity and 10 prominence. He's already at 100 prominence because he's the consul? I don't really get that.
Pretty prominent, yes.
Can't really be any more prominent than consul. We gain populist faction promoted until 460, which in 5 years. Plus 05. And then later 600 we get some freeman happiness and enact law cost, negative 20%. That's good. We can enact some more laws.
Yeah, very nice.
Cheaper.
Yeah, the tribune of the plebs. Oh, that's a good position.
Yeah. Why not?
They could veto anything that happened in Rome.
Nice.
Which is quite an insane amount of power.
Yeah. For some reason we can't go here, so whatever.
Yeah, for those interested in the history of class struggle, that was done after a lot of, well, more or less civil war almost in Rome. That was instituted the office of the tribune of the plebs.
How does it go? The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles, patricians and plebeians, guildmasters and journeymen.
No, you're going too far into the future now.
Sorry.
Patricians and plebeians.
Patricians and plebeians.
That's all that's written so far.
Lord and serf.
Well, what are serfs?
Serfs are slaves, medieval slaves.
What is the medieval thing in the Roman era?
Sorry.
Silly goat.
Let's see. We can get rid of some more aggressive expansion. Banish those of class and put the rest to sword. Important characters will be banished to foreign lands instead of executed or incarcerated, and all the plebeians will be executed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. We'll lose one aggressive expansion, which is nice.
As someone in the chat points out, that the Romans actually had quite a lot of interesting social reforms, like the Cura Annoni, or the grain dole, which gave the poorest of the city of Rome citizens free grain.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. Was around for a while, was quite expanded during the late Republic era.
Yeah.
It then shrunk down a bit and then expanded. It varied over time. There's other interesting things at the time. I think under Augustus they also gave, as part of a thing to incentivize immigration to Rome, they gave all people with education, citizenship, if they, went to Rome. So doctors, priests, and other such people.
This guy still hates us. His loyalty is even lower now. His wife's loyalty has gone down a bit.
Oh, hang on. The populist leader doesn't like you, despite you having put the populist in charge. What? But the guy who is disloyal, isn't he the populist leader?
No, he's just a random guy.
Oh, well, fuck him then. Who gives a shit about
He's a researcher.
Guy? What? Who gives a shit about this random researcher?
Yeah.
Just import some Greek.
Yeah, no, we are the leader of the populists right now.
Oh.
No, he's Flavius. He's both the consul and the leader of the populist faction.
Ah, I see.
Touched by Mercury. A huge influx of traders and travelers from far and wide. One of our advisors jokingly suggests we must have been blessed by Mercury himself. Might have been a joke, but paying our dues to the god might be a good idea nonetheless. Could only be a boost in long-term business, right? We will be inspired by the god and make the most out of this. We'll get 92 gold and get a bit of tax. Or we can say thank you to Mercury. We can pay 123 gold, which is about half of what we have. we will get 25 religious power, and we will get a bit of tax, a bit of administration, and a bit more tax. I think we're just going to take the gold. Thank you.
Yeah, Mercury doesn't need that much of a thank you.
What are we going to do with the gold? Fucking throw it in the ocean?
Yes.
How do you offer gold to a god?
You
God
put
doesn't
it
need
in
gold.
the temple.
God created gold. Come on.
Yeah, no, they just put it in the temple, and I think during the Punic War it was very controversial. They robbed all the temples of all the gold and offers they made to pay and equip the army.
Yeah. Across the Adriatic, for many long years, those in control of the Epirote lands have interfered in the region they call Magna Graecia. Now, with our territory beginning to overlap with their sphere of influence, it has become all too apparent that there is only one solution. We are ever to be free of their meddling, we must take to the sea and claim their land in order to protect the fair citizens of so-called Magna Graecia, who wish only to lead a peaceful existence under our rule, of course. All the areas of Epirus and Illyria Graecia. So, the Balkans.
Yes.
Essentially, yeah, usually, in my games, usually Macedonia becomes a giant blob and just eats up everything in the Balkans. Like, they work their way all
Unlike
the
what
way up
happened.
to Dalmatia. And then, yeah, they're usually a problem. Right now, they don't seem to be doing that much. They're war with some random Greek cities, I guess. Sparta is here. That's fun.
Yeah.
You can play as Sparta if you want.
Though why would you?
Stratocratic monarchy. The military is integral to functioning stratocratic monarchy. Advised by generals and warriors, the monarch rules by might. Yeah, they seem... Aerius Aegiad. He's 26 years old. He's disciplined and he's depressed. Oh. Depression looms like a dark cloud over Arius. Even sadness seems to be out of reach. Every action is mechanical, every word uttered is an act. All he recognizes is the emotionless caricature of what he is to live. That's, yeah, that is depressing.
Well, I'd be depressed if I was a fucking Spartan too. Jeez, those people have boring lives.
I wouldn't say boring, I would say pretty brutal.
Well, brutal and boring.
Well, not boring in the sense that nothing happens.
Well, they weren't allowed to have much fun, like not a lot of drinking or partying and whatnot, no. Unless they went abroad, in which case the Spartans became quite a problem, because they would often get really drunk and cause massive fights if they went to other places.
Yeah.
So they had to restrict that a little bit.
See, I'm gonna switch to the diplomacy view just to make sure I know who I'm at war with. Because, I mean, you never know. So we're currently at war with these two cities, and then, yeah. And then also these guys over here. But they shouldn't be a problem. Just in case they are, we have some guys over here. Yep. So now we're basically just picking off all the tiny little bullshit cities that are whatever. Oh, they have 2 forts here. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna take 1 fort at a time. I think that would be better. Ooh, I should check. What do they use? They use envelopment. Envelopment. What's good against envelopment? Shock is good against development. Huh, let's keep that then. We are victorious immediately. We'll switch back to shock. We'll merge these two. And we'll do a siege. Oh my god, they have 3 provinces and 3 forts. My god, oh shit. Hello, how are you? Will you stop it? just come, stop it. Just come here.
Yeah, bad Italians.
Like, if you're gonna fucking try to occupy my land, at least fight me. Oops, I didn't mean to do like that. You can't just come in here and sneakily occupy. Okay, stop it. Just come here. Just fight me. Stop running away.
Teleports behind you.
Hmm?
Teleports behind you.
Oh, what now? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, memes.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Hey, you caught them.
Yeah. Now they're gonna run back home to mommy.
Ah, the cowards.
Just gonna... Nope. Not trading with an Italy. It's very unnecessary. Oh, the Etruscans have sent us a gift. They're still trying to be our allies. That's too
Well.
bad.
Thanks for the money.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
We will put it to good use when we invade you.
Eventually. So this guy gives us some money, which has made significant alteration to the natural budget. We could say that he could take it for himself and he would gain 10 loyalty, but he's already at 99, so...
Does he need more loyalty?
He really doesn't.
Minister of Excellence.
Alright. Oh, these are they our allies? They are. Okay, that's good. Hopefully we get the occupation of this. Yeah, so they're gonna take this one. Oh, come here. Just fight me. No. No! Just stop! Just fight me.
Accurate recreation of the Roman army trying to chase down Hannibal.
Yeah. No! Stop! Just
I'm
fight
still.
me! Stop running away!
Very frustrating.
We are victorious. Oh yeah, it's also fun. Whenever you beat a general, you imprison them. And we can take a look at our characters.
You can execute them during the triumph.
Yes. So we can banish him. We can execute him, and as soon as the war is over, we can have him play in the gladiatorial games for his freedom.
Oh, okay.
Although I believe we need to have 2 prisoners and have them fight each other.
No, I'm sure
one of them will die and one of them will win.
Well, come on, being a
gain
gladiator
popularity.
is a professional sport. I'm sure there's someone around.
Unfortunately not.
Ah,
They have to be another prisoner, which is silly, but that's
that
how it
is silly. This was a sport. Come on.
So yeah, looks like there's only one province that we could take, but yeah, we need to wait. We need to have at least 10 war score, and we currently don't have that. They have war score because they control it, but they don't anymore. So we will just wait.
All right.
And they're trying to attack us, and every time they do, we gain war score. Why are we... Oh, this is interesting. This is another mechanic. Your generals, they can be disloyal, as any character can. This general is now so disloyal that he does not obey our commands anymore.
Oh dear.
He is disloyal. He is lists under automated armies. So he's pursuing his own agenda. He's doing whatever he wants, and apparently what he wants to do is go over here. But the dangerous thing about this is that if you have a bunch of generals that control more than 50% of your army, and we do have that, then a civil war can start, and it will break out in 12 months. However, we can get this guy's loyalty back up. We could grant him capitulary honors. He will gain 60 loyalty, 20 prominence, 20 popularity. We would just basically give him a bunch of honorary titles and stuff, but we would lose 2 stability. Our consul would lose 25 popularity, and his faction, the civic faction, would gain 10 support.
Ooh.
So instead, we could bribe him. He would gain 20 loyalty and some corruption. That's fine. And now he's at 52% loyalty, and he should return to doing his duty in a moment. Whenever he's done pursuing his agenda, whatever the fuck that means.
Having a holiday in southern Italy.
Yeah, he just want to hang out in
Whatever that city is.
Neziolum.
Wow, beautiful place, you know, especially in April.
Yeah, sure. Right, so this is interesting. Local tensions. Tensions have been growing between the Roman colonists and locals in Capua. The locals claim that our settlers are rejecting local traditions and power structures. Our colonists, on the other hand, claim that the locals are only alarmed because the new Roman settlement is surpassing the existing metropolis of the region. We can support the Roman interests.
Yes.
Our governor will gain 10 loyalty. 2 Roman freemen would appear in the city. And there would be a bit of unrest for a while. In a few cities, in 4 cities. In Neapolis, in Fundi, in Saticula, and Venafrum. Or we can defend the right of the locals. Governor would lose loyalty. Capua gets stunted growth. Bit of unrest. But all the other cities would gain less, -2 unrest.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm just going to support the Roman interests. Get some Roman cultured freemen in the city. At the expense of a bit of unrest. Which is fine. Unrest, not a huge deal. It's manageable. As long as it's not too much. In fact, I'm not entirely... Are we? Oh, there we go. He's no longer disloyal. I didn't get a notification about that, but yeah. He's now under our control again. Because he has 51% loyalty. Because we bribed him. Because... Sure. It's Rome. Why not? Oh, someone has... Our consul has had a child. That's nice. Whatever. Oh... Scheiße. Okay, we should be able to sue for peace now. We'll have to take these 2. Yeah. Cool. Again, 2 provinces, and we will just execute everyone. Are these allied with anyone?
I'm back again.
Hello. I think we're gonna start looking north because the south seems very unfriendly. And by unfriendly, I mean they look like they're banding together, and I don't want to be in like a 15 front war.
That would be a problem.
So yeah, I'm just gonna leave the south alone until they inevitably start hating each other. And oh, a civil war just broke out. That's, I mean, pretty much what I was looking for. I'll keep that fort. Try to keep these forts. Yeah. Cool. Gonna build some new cohorts. I can't build that many. We only have 7,000 manpower. But 5, 1, 2. Yeah. That's about as much as we can do. That's fine. We'll just wait. Yeah, we're gonna go after the Etruscans, I think. They have 34 cohorts. That's not too bad. Someone is asking, is the stream still going on? Yes.
Yeah, that's
We're
still
still here. We want an alliance? We don't. Stop asking for an alliance. We don't want an alliance. Oh, oops. Right, another interesting mechanic is troops can become loyal to their general, as is very historically accurate. troops usually are more loyal to their general than to the idea of Rome, I guess. The the central military command or whatever have you. So whenever you have a general assigned to a legion for a certain amount of time, eventually all of the cohorts will become loyal to that general. Are the Etruscans allied to anyone? No. Okay.
Yeah,
That's one of the good things about the powers, the power thing. So I think we can look in diplomacy. No. How do we do that? Oh yeah, we can sort by rank. So we have Mayura, which is in India. They are great power. Phrygia, the Seleucid Empire, Carthage, and Egypt are major powers. Rome, we are currently a regional power, I believe. And then there are local powers. And then there are city-states. And migrant hordes, apparently. So there's interaction between the different power levels is very, very limited. A local power or a regional power. Okay, how do I word this? Any empire is unable to be allied with any empire which is a rank below them or more. So Maurya is the only great power in the game, meaning they can have 0 allies. They can't ally with anyone. All they can do is guarantee and have vassals. They can't actually become allied with anyone, even major powers. Now, the Etruscans are a regional power, which means they are above, I believe, everyone else. Yeah, because we're also a regional power. Never mind. So we are at the same level as them, but we are above the local powers, which means that the Etruscans, they can't ally with, for example, these guys, or some random tribe down in the south, which means that they're all alone. They're guaranteeing 2 people, but those they're not vassals, they're not allies, so that means they're not going to come to the aid of the Etruscans. So once we declare war on the Etruscans, we're only going to be at war with the Etruscans, because they're too powerful to be allied with anyone else.
Right, you can only be allies within your own power group.
Yes.
Alright.
Which I think is just a nice quality of life thing.
That does balance things out a bit.
Yeah, so I wouldn't want to go to war against Etrusca and fucking the city-state of Plestia and the city-state of Pisenium and all these fuckers join in on the war.
Yeah, I've had some ridiculous things happen like that in EU4.
Yeah.
But I declare war on Muscovy, and fucking some one province minor in Indonesia is also at war with me for some reason.
Yeah, and then you have to capitulate them to fucking win the war or something.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
That's where it's like in Hearts of Iron, where you have to you can't sue for peace, which is the most annoying thing about that game.
I know. That's
you have to capitulate your enemy. You have to fucking invade and occupy London in order to end the World War.
Yeah, even though everything else has already fallen, it's just fucking Iceland's still there,
Yeah.
Fucking Iceland's in the faction. The
Yeah,
war
they're a
isn't-
major
the war can
power.
still be won. So fuck off.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
I think there's a mod
Also-
called "Make Peace Not War" or something that adds.
I should really get that. Also, good news, another super chat.
Oh, cool.
From Joe Kim again, who earlier gave 2 $1 donations, now giving $5 and saying, I am a natural being.
A what?
A natural being.
A natural being.
Yes.
Alright.
I don't know
Aren't
what that
all
means.
beings natural? Is there such a thing as an unnatural being?
guess. I don't know. There's no context in the rest of the chat either to explain this, so
All right then. I'm gonna go get a drink.
cool. I'll just interact with the chat. Hello, chat. Let's see. Half a fish taco being eaten by 2 seagulls. First, interesting name. Second, what's your general opinion of this game so far? We answered that question earlier. We're both liking it. I'm not playing it. The goat is, but I'm enjoying the bits of history which are in it. So far, that's been these like the little text blurbs they have for like the history. So far, they seem accurate enough, at least to my knowledge of Roman history. And you know, the goats said they like the game as well. So yeah. It is a good username, yes. So yes, not much going on. Yeah, I'm liking the game anyway. I'll probably get it once it goes on sale eventually. So probably during the Steam Summer Sale, I imagine. Why not? Welcome back.
Hello.
So, while you were away, 2 questions have been asked. What is your general opinion of this game so far? We kind of answered that earlier.
Yeah.
And Gunther Meyer asked, why not communist Rome? Well, why aren't we communist yet? Why haven't we achieved fully automated gay space luxury communism yet?
Well, we do have the populist faction in charge. I would say
Well,
that's
there you go, Gunther. We
it's
have
probably
the
the closest
populists
we
in
can get.
charge. Indeed.
Our praetor died of dysentery.
Ah, jeez, of all the things to die of.
Yeah, in fucking 294 BCE.
Yeah, Jesus.
Dysentery was very rare.
Fucking A. Yeah. Mm.
Have a lot of people with 9. Yeah. How many populists? No. Alright, fine. Whatever, I'll just accept everything. I ran out of ice.
Mm. That's no good.
Have you ever had rum without ice?
Yes, it's not as nice.
Yeah, it's not. It's very disappointing.
Yes. The rum I'm having at the moment is without ice, but it's more of a liqueur.
Mm.
So
I'm having, as a true communist, I'm having Havana Club.
oh, very nice.
Fancy Cuban rum from the Socialist Republic of Cuba.
I'm drinking a local rum, which is very, much a local tradition rum in this area. Goes back centuries rum making. It's
Sure.
native sugar plantations here in northern Netherlands.
Yeah. This fucking guy is not dead yet.
I don't know why they claim this to be some local rum, but it's a good rum at least. I'm not complaining, but it's, I wonder why they do all the local brand marketing when it makes absolutely no sense. Like, freaking, what native rum production has this place ever had? I mean, let alone the Netherlands, like in this part of the country, even.
Can you even grow sugarcane in the Netherlands?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain we don't even have, even if you can, I don't think we have any here.
Yeah, so okay, you produce the rum in the Netherlands, sure, but the sugar is grown somewhere else.
Oh, I'd be surprised we even have reduced the rum here.
Yeah.
Maybe we do because transporting, most of the stuff is like water, and transporting water is kind of like pointless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's mixed together somewhere in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Local place branding, it's a ridiculous thing. I should know as a tourist geographer. Plug. Look at me and my fucking fancy education.
What are you plugging? Yourself?
Yes,
Your services as a city planner?
yes, hire me now. Please, I need a job.
If there are any, I don't know, who hires city planners? Mayors? Governors?
Yes, those.
Yeah, if there are any Dutch mayors listening,
Yes, indeed.
Julia is city
Um,
planner.
Yeah, provinces. I work for the province. Well, I'll work for the province as well. Municipalities. Even the national government, the EU. If you're listening for some fucking reason,
If the
hey, please
EU
don't.
is listening.
Yeah, EU.
Yeah.
You're one of like the 15 people
The
who's
entity
listening.
that is the EU.
Yes, Jean-Claude Juncker. If you're listening, I'm up for working for the EU, whatever. Like, I'm not critical of the EU at all anymore. When they give me a job, suddenly I love the EU.
Shame
Always
of a
love the EU.
governor. In the midst of a fallow season, Marcus Fulvius Paetinus, he's been governor for so long now. One of our most esteemed governor held a vast and lavish party in his summer palace. I thought we forbade him from having parties. I thought we said he shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, like 20% popularity. Jesus, fuck's up with this
He's
guy.
currently at 17% popularity. He's even
Calm
less
down.
popular. Even his
Jesus.
most loyal subordinates were shocked by the display of contempt for the plight of the common man and have written directly to us, demanding that some manner of justice is served. Demand a payment to the city. He would lose a bunch of money and he would lose loyalty. And the city would gain a granary. That's pretty nice.
No. A granary.
We could demand his resignation and the people would rejoice and they would pay 50% more in tax because they're so happy.
Well,
He would lose 40 loyalty, which is pretty bad. That would make him a disloyal character. And make him...
who cares? He doesn't have any position anymore then.
That's true enough. Or we could say the commoners are not our problem. We would lose 10 popularity, and he would gain 5 loyalty. That's pretty worthless. You know what? I'm just gonna fuck off. I don't like him. He's not popular. He's not effective.
Yeah, come on. You've gone down in popularity
We're gonna assign
somehow.
Papidia Tertia. She has 72% popularity, and she has 10 in finesse. 25% prominence. Oh, never mind. That's her loyalty. She has 0 popularity.
Oh. Slight problem.
Well,
Hmm.
she is good. She's loyal.
Well, I mean, if they managed to put up with, a 17% popularity guy, how much
She
worse
actually,
can zero
actually
be?
has even more finesse, and she's local unrest. That's very good.
By the way, another super chat yet again from Joe Kim for $2. Is common law inherent to communism?
Is what now?
Common law, which I think is a thing from the British Empire. So
I'm just thinking of the Commodore 64.
I don't know what that is.
It's the gaming console.
Oh, that thing, right? No, common law.
No idea what that is.
I think that was a thing of British imperial law, or had its roots in it. Not entirely sure. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not sure. You're not a lawyer either. You're a teacher. I'm not even
Yeah.
a law teacher. Not sure why you're asking us about legal history here.
I was social studies and history teacher.
Yeah, I
I don't
study.
know anything about law. I mean, I know some things about law, but very basic
No.
things about law.
I know of the existence of law.
Sure.
I don't know how it works. I don't even know how zoning laws work. I really should know, but I don't.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that's weird. Actually, I don't know that. But, No idea if it's an anti-communism. I thought it was a thing of the British legal system, but you could be wrong on that. Don't quote me.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Let's see. Blue Light. Is he a fan of Dutch historian Rutger Bregman? I don't know who the he is you're talking about. Doesn't seem to refer to anyone. Maybe Jean-Claude Juncker. I imagine Jean-Claude Juncker is a fan of any citizen of the EU.
Oh yeah, sure. Such a great guy.
Yes, indeed. I don't know, I've seen an interview with Rutger Bregman. It's kind of weird pronouncing Dutch names in an English manner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he seemed alright. I haven't really looked into anything else from the guy except that one. Fucking Joe Kim again with another $2. Thank you. Common law basically means court cases can change law. Ah. Huh.
I wouldn't say that really has anything to do with communism.
That seems to be more of a legal doctrine thing.
Yeah, I think if anything, most quote communist countries or socialist republics have not had common law, but have had, or is it civil law? I think it's called. Rule of law.
No idea.
China has that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the USSR had that as well.
The US has common law, I think. Fairly certain.
Yeah, the USSR.
Yeah,
And,
the other US.
Yeah.
the less lettery US. Also, you're running out of manpower, I notice.
Yeah, no, it's fine, I think.
Alright, that's good. Well, again, still neither of us are lawyers here, so
Yeah, no.
I'm not too big on how communism would deal with common law, but
It's a very specific question.
yes.
Are you, writing an essay for university or something?
Yeah. Well, hang on. Let me plug a different YouTube channel, Legal Eagle. I quite like the guy.
yeah, I know
He's
Legal
a
Eagle.
lawyer, and you should ask him this question.
I don't
He should
know if
probably
even he
know.
would be able to answer it. I don't think he's an expert
he's
in
familiar
communism.
with. Well, maybe not, but he's probably an expert in common law.
Well, he's American. Well, I guess that's true. America does have common law.
Yeah, America has common law.
That's
yes.
true.
So,
But I mean, if he's American, he would probably say something like, "Communism would not have common law because America is not communist, and America is the good, and communism is bad."
Oh no, but you have to think like a lawyer.
Yeah, I don't think lawyers like communism very much.
Yeah, probably not.
Although Lenin was a lawyer, technically.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't think
noisy,
lawyers
Lenin.
feel very proud of that fact, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez, wasn't Ho Chi Minh educated in law? Let me look that up. Ho Chi Minh. I always misspell that name. Let me see. He had an education in France. I know that much.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can't remember him having an education in law, but maybe.
I thought he did.
Yeah.
No, I guess not.
Fidel Castro had an education in law. He was a lawyer.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I guess us communists do have a great lawyerly tradition.
Some, two of them.
Yes, well, there you go. Two important ones. It seems honestly like the least revolutionary study you could take is law, but okay. I guess I have my biases here.
Suppose so.
Let's see. Did you buy Imperator by not paying your union dues? Asks I.O. Carallo. Well,
As a student, I'm actually a member of my union for free.
look at that.
You don't have to pay membership dues when you're a student. As soon as I'm done with my education and I get out into the real world and I get a real job as a teacher, then I will have to pay my membership dues, but they're not that bad. It's like, I don't know how much they are, but it's not very expensive.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Dutch, the biggest Dutch union. We basically have like 3 unions, and one of them has like, I don't know, 70% of the membership, and the other ones has like 20 and 10, something like that. It's anyway, I'm a member of the 70% one. I haven't paid my dues in quite a while because of some administrative problems on their end. So I'm just waiting for them to sort that out and send me like the reminder that, you know, this is how much you still owe us. It's a lot easier than digging through, I don't know how many fucking letters of like, you know, of random months they send me.
Yeah. So you have one big union just for everything?
Yes. Well, we have the big union, and within that there's like subsections for like healthcare workers and, you know, dog workers, cleaners, whatnot.
Yeah, I guess we have pretty
But
much the
they're
same
all
system,
organized within like the same big union, although there doesn't seem to be a lot of cooperation between these different branches.
We have quite a lot of independent unions, but we do have 2 big ones that are social democratic, both of them.
I think unions have pretty strong social democratic influence. I think, I don't know how true this still is, because that party's more or less gone nowadays, but when we still had the Dutch Labour Party, they were more or less wiped out the last election. They went from like, I don't know, having 40% of the seats or something in Parliament to like, I don't know, 5.
Yeah.
They were really crushed. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, couldn't have happened to a nicer party. The fucking cunts. Anyways, for them it used to be a bit of a like stepping stone in politics. And at first, you know, you get and hang out in the union for a while, and then you get like some position in some city government, and then you move up like the ladder.
Yeah.
So it's very much just a political position for them, and didn't really give much of a shit for the rest of the union and what they stand for.
Yeah. In Sweden, it's the youth organization that you're supposed to be moving on. You're supposed to be a member of the youth organization from a very young age, and then work your way up. At some point, you should have been the general secretary or the leader of the youth organization. That's basically a requirement for ever becoming leader of the other party. It's having once been leader of the youth org.
Wait, so which party is that?
All of them.
All right. Yeah, no, our parties work differently. It's every party seems to have their own internal logic of how it's decided.
Yeah. Well, I think pretty much all of our parties are the same. Like their internal organization, it's all pretty much the same.
Carlo, the person I was just talking about, apparently was making a reference to the Delta Airlines anti-union poster. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, I have, yeah.
Yes. No for either of us.
Yeah, I did see that one on Twitter earlier today.
Yeah, it's just
So
it's weird, you know, given how little employers generally care about your well-being. When unions are involved, suddenly like, oh no, this is bad for you. You know, we care about you. It's like,
yeah. We care about you so much.
Yeah, but not enough to give you like a decent wage.
Oh no, some don't be crazy.
Proper benefits. No. Yeah, hey, so what, you've won the war?
Not yet. We want to occupy Corsica as well. Oh, someone is powering us.
What?
Please.
Okay. Jeez, fucking Joe Kim again. Another $5. Fucking A, thanks, dude. Is the PC USA considered the official American Communist Party to European communists?
The PC USA?
Yeah, I've not heard of the PC USA. I've heard of the CP USA.
Yeah.
Let's assume that's a typo for a moment. We can actually talk about this.
No, there is a PC USA. They're like a really small, like I think Hodgeist or like anti-revisionist thing.
The Presbyterian Church of the United States of America. I think that's a different thing.
It's the Party of Communists USA.
Okay, well, let me just look that one up instead.
Yeah.
Not the Presbyterian
It's not the
Church.
Presbyterian Church, no.
All right. Well, they don't have a wiki page, so I imagine they aren't well known in the in Europe. They don't even have a wiki page.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, let me just take a look at the website. Oh, yeah, PC USA, their thing. Yep, this looks like a Communist Party website, alright. There's a lot of fucking text.
That's how it usually is, yeah.
It's at least designed, like, at least it looks like a website designed within the last, 5 years, not, like my party 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Jesus, the Dutch Communist Party's website's fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. Oh yeah, to answer the question, I don't know. Is any American Communist Party considered like official to European communists? I don't think so.
No, I wouldn't say so. I don't know any communist party or socialist party in Sweden that has any kind of official relationship with any American party.
Yeah.
Like we have, like the Communist Party works with Rut in Norway, and with the Communist Party in Denmark, and the
not a
Communist
lot
Party
of
in Brussels.
intercontinental or transatlantic stuff going on.
Not really. I wouldn't say so.
No. Yeah, and occasionally, like some party in the US will get referenced during like a meeting or whatever, but that's not quite the same as. I mean, it's not generally. It's not even like the same party who gets referenced. It's just like a party. It could be Revolutionary Socialist Party of America or whatever. Just throwing out words, just any random party, really. Yeah, so no party is really considered the official one.
No. I wouldn't say so.
Let's see.
Just want to see if it's even possible for me to annex all of this without going over. Piece of no, it should be fine.
Well, you're forgetting Corsica.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna annex them later.
Yeah, who wants to go across seas? Seas are scary.
Yeah, no, we need to build some ships first.
Yeah, ships. Yeah, Romans didn't like the navy much.
Yeah.
Also, like.
I don't like the navy much.
Well, no, agreed. Also, like within their military hierarchy, a centurion of land soldiers, just regular military, only commands like 80 soldiers and 20 slaves, and that's 100 century. The naval equivalent, which would have not even like the same general status, but sort of be on equal footing, had to command like 300.
Wow.
So it's like, then you're somewhere on equal footing and not even.
Yeah.
No, they know we're not big fans of the navy. They did eventually develop a decent navy. Though at that time, the only persons they would use it against were themselves in civil wars. So, yeah.
I've only fought one civil war in this game, and
after Carthage,
it wasn't that hard.
Yeah. After they defeated Carthage, the navy more or less did like some support things occasionally, but mostly just a glorified taxi service, I guess.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I used the navy for, yeah, in the game.
To be fair, though, who else could field the navy anymore at that point after they defeated Carthage?
Yeah.
I mean, any other enemy could generally just reach my land as well, so,
So this tiny little piece of shit city-state decided to declare war on me, so I just decided to run them over. Oh. Should probably help out. Yeah, we're dead. Never mind. Let's just sue for peace with the Etruscans.
Are you out of like an army now? Oh, I know you're still almost 3,000 left there.
Oh shit! I didn't take anything.
Uh,
I just sued for peace and I didn't take anything.
you might want to reload. Bit
So,
awkward.
yeah, my last save was 14 years ago.
So you just lost like what 20,000 soldiers and took nothing.
Wait, hang on. 20.
Is that an autosave?
Oh
wait, no, that one. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, this one said it was 1 minute ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why it says 450.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, the
Makes
date is
sense.
like so. The name of the save is the date, but it's the wrong date.
I see.
Okay, so no, never mind. We need to load one before.
Okay, 1 minute ago.
Yeah, we don't have one.
Oh, this is
Yeah, I know. We don't have one.
okay. Well,
that's another game
That-
entirely. Well, that sucks. So
Well.
I thought I was annexing, but I wasn't. I wasn't doing anything.
So you just defended the national honor of Rome. Okay, well, it's slightly awkward.
I guess so. I just hired some mercenaries. And I'll just wait for them to get their morale up. In the meantime, I'll just get some principals.
On the bright side, Joe Kim is apparently happy with our answer. Because we didn't deny it and didn't defend the CP USA. Because they are apparently extremely revisionist.
Well,
I'll take your word for it. I know fuck all about the CP USA. So,
all I know is they endorsed Hillary Clinton.
yeah, but so did I. Well, I'm a revisionist now, so there you go. Well, when did they endorse her? I'm wondering about that.
They endorsed her during the Democratic primary, so they endorsed her before Bernie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's that is a lot more questionable.
Yeah.
I mean, endorsing her over Trump, like, well, yeah. I mean, well, so, I do the same, but admittedly, I am a revisionist. So, but over Bernie, like, what? Come on, Cameron.
Yeah, it's been a theory for a long time that the CPUSA is in the pockets of the Democratic Party.
That's a weird thing to be in the pocket of. Also, to be supported by. Why would the Democrats even want to?
It's just a way to keep radicalized people in a party that is not radical.
I guess. I feel like, given how poorly the Democratic Party is run, I'm kind of skeptical of that theory. I mean, if they manage to do that, why aren't they using that fucking skill of like manipulating public opinion to like win?
True enough.
Same. I remember to take land this time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my excuse is I'm both drunk and tired.
Fair enough. I'm much the same.
Oh, well, at least we weakened them.
Yeah, you defended your national honor. Come on.
Sure.
So, any thoughts on the Party for Socialism and Liberation?
They seem fine.
Oh, there you have it, folks. They seem fine.
I don't know that much about them.
I know nothing about them. I just see them referenced every now and then, but
They're like the most popular socialist party in America, which isn't saying much. Because,
it's like being the tallest kid in like primary school.
yeah, basically.
It's not not a high standard.
Yeah. But it is something.
That said, I did used to be the tallest kid in primary school.
That's good for you.
It was a meaningless achievement.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was much taller. It was just like, half a centimeter. It's like, For the Americans, that's like, I don't know, a quarter of an inch, I think.
I have no idea.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
know what an inch is.
Yeah, who cares? I'm not fucking kowtowing to your weird imperial measurements. Showing the rest of the world, you fucking savages.
No.
Well, it is called the imperial system. They
So
stuck
yeah,
with it for some reason.
I lost my entire army fighting the Etruscans. Then when I signed the peace deal, I didn't take anything.
Well, you know how to fight them now.
I mean, I guess so, man.
Indeed.
I guess so.
Let's see. The current president of the CPUSA has a peaceful transition plan to win liberals, where it's simply starting riots and changing narrative, while showing support for the popular candidates.
Yeah.
Right. Yay.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't have much thoughts on this, to be honest. Vote for Mike Gravel.
That's true.
Have you?
Vote for Gravel.
He's cool. Well, if you're an American, send him $1 so he can maybe get on the debate stage. Also, follow his Twitter feed. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a glimpse into the Zoomer future. Yes. Peter's nightmare. It's here. The Zoomers.
The Vulnerarius has died. Ironically.
Yeah. Jeez.
The court doctor.
He knew how to heal others, but couldn't heal himself.
How sad.
No.
So yeah, I'm just working on building back my army.
Yeah,
It's like,
no, this is when you need, your fucking Venus omen. You need people to fuck more.
I mean, I did enact the Blessing of Apollo, which gives us more manpower.
What does Apollo have to do with fucking? Apollo is about trade and
He's the
thieves.
god of the arts, light, and medicine, and also a skilled archer like his twin sister. So the oracles of Delphi and Delos receive visions from the god, foretelling both tragedies and blessings to their many visitors.
Yeah, I keep confusing Apollo with Mercury.
The visions and prophecies of the god of light will inspire our young men to take up arms and fight for our nation.
Let me just check something real quick. Nope, hang on. Yes, Mercury, the god of trade and thieves. I like how they put those two together.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah, the god of merchant, traders, and thieves.
Same thing.
Yeah, I guess the Romans were onto something here. Property of theft and all that.
Yeah.
And they dedicated a fucking god to it, so... two steps forward, one step back.
Dedicating a god to thievery, that's
And trade and putting them under the same, general god thing. That's
Yeah.
as one does.
Oh, okay, we have 13,000 cohorts. Or not cohorts, men in the army. 13 cohorts. Slowly but surely, our army is recovering.
Yeah,
Our allies are doing okay. That's good.
that's
I guess.
good.
We have expanded, We have our a little port in the south of Italy there, so that's nice. And yeah, we could have had all of the Tuscan land.
We will make the final victory all the sweeter.
I guess so. Just imagine all of this belongs to me.
Imagine being like, the politician here, and you have to go back to, the Senate and say, okay, so guys, hear me out. I know we just lost like 20,000 soldiers here, but okay, we also didn't take any land, but we are slowly recovering our military.
So let's declare war again.
Indeed.
I just imagining the guy who's like writing up the peace deal. He's
Yeah,
like
the
writing a
diplomats,
long
yeah.
letter like, the Rome demands the following. ... We expect you
Yes.
to...
We expect this much payment for war reparations.
Yeah,
Nothing.
nothing?
We demand the following lands. Nothing. Yep.
Very carefully and meticulously running out. Nothing.
Yep.
I'm just looking at that like, yes, this seems right.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in, give that to the mail
Just
carrier.
send that in the mail. Oh dear. Let's see.
And the Etruscan leader gets it and he's like,
Yeah, I think I'll sign this.
sure,
This
I'll
seems
agree
like a
to this.
reasonable. You drive a hard bargain, Rome, but very well.
Yeah. Like like the peace deal had to be debated in front of the Senate as well.
Yeah, they're wondering like, is this a trick? What's going on here? Why aren't they demanding anything? They've fully conquered everyone else they've encountered. Why they're not even asking for a single province here?
They're not
Or
even
single
asking for
state.
gold, any kind of reparation.
No, not even hostages. It's
I think, did we take any hostages? I don't know.
Do you still have anyone in prison?
Yeah.
Can you fight them in the
guy.
gladiator thing?
We only have one guy.
Oh, only one guy.
Unfortunately.
Jesus. Oh, still no gladiator games then.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really that exciting. It's just an event.
Mm. Well.
Whatever. Ooh, we can do some trading. We can get wine.
Oh
It's
yes, very
local
good. Take the
freeman
wine.
happiness.
Take the wine.
Army maintenance costs. Because of woad. Get some tribesman happiness. Salt. Army maintenance cost. Fish. Population growth. Get some wine. Why not?
Yeah, get some wine. Not my real name asks when will the worker revolution happen?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but sometime between tomorrow and next week.
Yes.
Just keep an eye on the news. Keep checking your Twitter feed.
The revolution will be on Twitter.
Yeah, no, rather keep following Shit Islands. I'm sure we'll talk about it when it happens.
Yeah. About like 2 weeks after it happens.
Yeah, maybe 3 weeks if we don't feel like talking about it that week.
Yeah, we might talk about dicks or something.
Something else. Yeah, like, what happened last time? We had a topic lined up and then we're like, nah, actually, let's talk about this instead. Like a pre-show talk.
Yeah.
You don't know about this yet, dear viewer, because it hasn't been uploaded yet.
Yeah, it will be up tomorrow.
And it was a lot of fun to record it.
It was.
Yes, and there's also a bonus episode for the patrons.
Yes, that will also be up tomorrow.
Indeed. Fun things ahead.
So the Etruscans Oh, the fuck? Do the Etruscans already have 33 cohorts?
What? How?
I don't know.
Did they just fucking store all their like soldiers underground somewhere? Or their, you know?
Corsica.
Yes, damn Corsica.
Well,
Oh, this is awkward.
their entire army fled to Corsica and then came back.
Yeah, that's how they won the war. Or rather, that's how they managed to enforce a status quo. No, just a white peace.
Oh my god, I feel so stupid.
Well.
Alright, well... I'm getting way too tired to keep playing this game. I'm gonna end it here.
Alright.
But this was fun.
Yeah, and thanks again, Joe Kim, for all the super chats.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
I will go towards...
Come join
more-
the Discord if you're not on there already. If you are, let us know who the fuck you are on there, because
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
don't know any Joe Kims on there.
Joe Kim.
I don't think
No.
there's a Joe Kim in the Discord. Not active, anyway.
Not that I know of.
Well, if you want to join, please do.
If you're already on the Discord, let us know your username.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Fun game. Rome is cool. Votes for Mike Ravel. Anything else? Become a patron.
If you haven't given us money on the stream, you can become a patron.
Like, comment, subscribe, share.
Yeah, sure. Subscribe. I'm
Jeez.
almost at 22,000.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So any special plans for when you hit it? That next milestone?
I'm gonna jerk off. I don't know.
Well, help the goats jerk off. Come on, people, subscribe.
No, that's very unlikely.
Well, okay.
I don't know. I don't think I'll do anything special. 22,000. That's a very.
No, 23,000 rather. You're already at 22,000.
Oh, I am.
Yes, you're at 22,700 something.
Oh, 23,000. Then.
Well,
I thought I
already
was at
passed
20.
it.
Yeah, I'll maybe do something at 25,000. I don't know.
Well, maybe I'll post something in the announcements on Discord if I find out that you reached 23,000.
Sure. Feel free.
There
I
you
didn't
go.
post anything when I hit 21 or 22,000, but if you want to
Well,
post something when I
yeah.
hit 23, that's up to you.
Well, we just made the goal, so there you go.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun anyway. So
I want to make some like really ridiculous promise for like a really ridiculous number. When I'm
Yeah,
at
when-
100,000.
Yeah, when we hit 1 million, we're gonna do a live meetup in fucking Bornholm. Dressed as a Viking, another Viking, and a fucking Roman woman, whatever. And I don't know. We'll have some rum
Yeah.
and talk about the CPUSA apparently and Commodore.
When I
There
hit
you go.
100,000.
We'll do a collab with Legal Eagle.
No, we'll do a collab with Jason Unruh. We'll do a live debate with Jason Unruh and Sargon of Akkad.
Oh, dude, beautiful. Sargon of Akkad calling in from prison. That'd be beautiful.
When I hit
Yep.
10 million subscribers, I will delete my channel.
Oh, that's
Calling
not
it
gonna
now.
go for that.
Hold
That's gonna
hold
go
me
for
to that if I ever
No,
reach 10
don't,
million.
no. There's a lot of Patreon money.
I won't delete my Patreon, I'll just delete my YouTube.
Well, yeah, but why are there going to be patrons if there's not a
I'll
YouTube thing?
post all my future videos on Patreon instead of YouTube.
Oh, well, that's a thing.
Yeah, once I hit 10 million subscribers, I'll stop posting to YouTube, I'll delete my channel, and I'll post exclusively to Patreon.
Yeah, well, you know where to get future content, dear viewer.
Yeah, invest in the future. Become a patron.
Yes, you never know when the YouTube algorithm might, do a YouTube and, make us the most watched thing ever.
Oh yeah, we'll fucking beat T-Series and PewDiePie.
Yeah, fucking need a PewDiePie. We're the new kings. Or whatever. Monarchs. Consoles. Consoles, we're the new consoles.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the word for when there are 3 consoles?
There was a thing for that? But they
There
only
was
had
a-
2.
there was a thing when there's 2 consoles.
Yeah, it's just normal. That's the general thing, just 2 consoles.
Is there anything when there's 3 consoles?
I think so.
Wouldn't that
no.
make more sense? Because then, it would be an odd number of votes.
Yeah,
if-
that would make more sense.
What happened when the 2 consoles disagreed with each other or something?
Things just completely go into gridlock.
Civil war.
Basically, just nothing gets done.
Hmm.
That's literally because they can veto each other. So
How effective of a system?
it's terrible. It's really dysfunctional.
Really, 1 console would have been a lot better.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of, if you look at the Roman political scene, there's a lot of people who can veto things.
Yeah.
And that power was used, and it really ground things to a halt. It's such a stupid system.
Well
It's
fun.
beautiful.
It's a wonder they didn't conquer the world.
It is. It's a wonder they conquered as much as they did somewhere.
That's true. And yeah, it's a wonder they didn't fight wars and then
collapse.
forget to demand land.
Well, to be fair, having a second consul who could veto that peace deal would have been good.
That's true.
Yeah. If you want to
Well,
talk more
yeah.
Roman history, come join the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord. We used to have a history channel, but I deleted it.
Yeah. Maybe now you can just talk history in the main chat.
Yeah, or discussions or questions.
Yeah,
or...
if it's about a topic which I don't care about, I'll send you to discussions. But if you want to talk Roman history, I'll leave it up.
Come see the
insight into the workings of the server bureaucracy.
That's how unfair the leadership of the server is. Biased, I say. Biased leadership in the server.
Someone just came in to correct us. The triumvirate, it's not 3 consuls, just 3 officials. The triumvirs.
Yeah.
It wasn't official state structure, it was just an informal alliance, really.
And
But yes.
as far as I understand it, only 2 of them were really important.
Generally, yeah.
Octavian and the other
Actually,
one.
yes. Of all the there weren't a lot of triumvirates. I think only 2, 3. Anyway, in both cases, only 2 people were important. The other one was just kind of there.
Was
They
it the
just needed
one
a
with
third
the
guy.
Octavian and Mark Anthony?
Yeah, and Lepidus, and
Yeah,
no one
the third guy
remembers
no one
Lepidus.
cares about.
Yes, Lepidus got Africa,
Yeah.
like northern Africa, not even Egypt, the shit parts of Africa where there wasn't grain. There was a bit of grain in Tunisia, but even so, not much, not compared to the rest.
Poor guy.
Hang on, we care a lot about Roman history. Hang on, I do anyway.
What?
The person who corrected us on the triumvirate thing said that, if you don't care about Roman history, why are you playing this game? I care a lot about Roman history.
That must be someone who joined recently. we started this stream talking about how Julia loves...
I named myself after Julius Caesar. Come on. If you want to talk more about that, join the Discord. Plug. Come on, join you motherfuckers. Jesus, how many times do I have to repeat myself here?
Yeah. Although I guess maybe that statement was more directed towards me. I don't know that much about Roman history. I think it's interesting. I'm not.
Well,
an
that's
expert
why
now.
I'm here to talk about it.
Sure, that's why you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
And also because I didn't feel like doing the stream alone.
And I want to see this game.
Yes.
That's how this happened, more or less. You were talking about how fun this game is, and I was like, want to do a stream about it? Sure.
Yeah.
That's how this happened, folks. I hope you liked
I'm
it.
tired now.
Same. Well,
See
good night,
you guys.
dear viewer.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.